Man, no way, I don't want this anymore. Oh crap! Just build some stuff.
I hear a lot of it sounds like I hear a lot of you playing the keys, but like not the key, not like the actual piano sound.
The key sound, I hear you.
It's like the thudding of.
Yeah, not here. I
Okay. Just so you know.
forgot to set my output here. There we go. So hopefully get less of that key sound. Going for that real piano sound, man. You gotta hear some mechanical noise. Not authentic.
I love it.
In a digital world, trying to live in, trying to figure out how to say. I'm an analog boy living in a digital world, man.
You trying to put some flaw in there? That's what we need. Some real life.
We better now.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, that's way better. Okay, let me see if this is working. It looks like we're working. Okay. All right, man. I think we're good. If you're here, say what up. Talk to us, Twitchers. You guys are witnessing the first Electric Louis Land podcast featuring your boy himself, Alexander Anderson. I didn't even have all my shit set up. I was gonna give you a little horn, a little boo boo.
Man, I feel honored. This is the very first one.
This is the first one, bro. Officially, like this, I'm officially launching it because I just want to do interviews with people that are gonna stream, and I've been wanting to do a podcast anyways.
I feel that, man. I have mine. I'm struggling to be consistent with it and actually. I just have so many things like.
Yeah.
The world just moves so quickly that if I don't do it like every single day, I'm like, there's just too much stuff I want to talk about.
I know, man, and it's hard. It's hard because
slow down.
There's so much to do, man. Especially like you're trying to write music, we're trying to practice, we're trying to just stay alive, we're trying to get gigs, we're trying to be creative. You know what I mean? There's just a bunch of stuff.
No, I feel you. I feel you. I was just thinking that because someone is hitting me up to do something tomorrow in LA, and they haven't even confirmed with me all the details, so I don't know if it's happening.
Right.
It's a little bit kind of up in the air, but is that going on? I'm trying to make sure I put on a good show with you. You know,
you don't gotta try, dude. Just be. Hey, what's your handle on?
Pay my rent, son. Pay my rent?
Yeah, bro.
What were you saying, bro?
What's your handle on Twitch? Is it the same as Instagram?
At Alex on the piano, man. I'm very fortunate to have clocked in early on most of the major platforms with Alex on the piano, so I gotta run with it.
That's crucial, bro. I actually was able to snag Electric Louis Land on everything.
Oh yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
And now you got it.
So, all right, I'm just gonna.
So they crash and burn. We riding this bitch.
Put your little logo on here.
I'm sorry for the expletives.
Alex on piano. All right, hell yeah, Alex on piano. There you go, people. If you want to check him out, there he is. Okay. All right, man. So I just put on.
I used to play a lot.
What do you say?
I used to play this song a lot. Sorry. Then I saw Paul McCartney actually play, and I was like, man, I don't know if I can touch that song anymore.
Oh, come on, dude. That's good.
before he played it, he was like, a lot of people try to play this song and they play it wrong.
Uh-huh.
But this is how you play it. And then he played it solo and it sounded exactly like the recording.
Right.
Exactly.
Wow.
I mean, they added some production stuff in there, but
Uh-huh.
his part before they started layering stuff in was like literally perfect.
Yeah,
Paul McCartney.
I
I
mean,
don't know if I agree with his lifestyle, but he makes some great music.
I mean, they wrote some. I mean, there's no denying, bro. You know what I mean?
No denying. There's no denying the Beatles, man. I saw Ringo Starr too, and I was a bit disappointed. But to be fair, I snuck in and I only saw like the last two songs.
Okay.
So I didn't give it the full Ringo experience. But he had another drummer, of course. And yeah, I don't know. This seemed like a lot of nostalgia. It seemed like a nostalgia fest.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I don't know.
And I guess that's what a Beatle concert really is, but
yeah, I kind of by definition, I guess.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, what else are they gonna play? Like, it's you know what I mean? It's all nostalgic in a way.
That's hilarious. But yeah.
I mean, that's how I feel when I listen to Hendrix, dude. It's just come on, bro. Hey,
I feel like listening to Hendrix is like, for me, it's like I'm honestly trying to figure out how he was so soulful, so good. Just like how I'm just trying to figure out how he thought about playing music because
yeah,
he had it down to a science. Like
dude.
His arrangements,
yep,
his like intros,
yep.
his riffs,
yeah.
when his lyrics come in, like vocally, when he starts soloing,
yep.
when he gets the band to come back to, like he just had it down to a science, man. And I need to look more at like the Isley brothers and like the people that he was
into
playing with,
yeah,
that got him to that point,
right?
To like be able to be like such a force.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to get there in my own way, you know. But he was just like, he's one of those people that I look at who's like they transcended like music and their instrument, and they just like were on a spiritual mission,
right?
And I feel that we all are in our own way, you know. But some people, they're just like,
it's pronounced
so radiant.
Yeah, dude, it's very pronounced.
And then on top of that, he had the push.
Mm-hmm.
He had like the ultimate like industry push at a time when that actually meant something. You know, like when being on the radio was like everyone in the country would hear your song,
right?
Or you know, because when he went to the UK, no one knew who he was in America.
Yeah, that was the thing, is he had already become famous over there, but then he came to his own home country.
He had to leave his own country to get recognition.
Yeah, that's
just
what I mean.
like all the jazz musicians.
Yeah.
Or he would have just been another black blues guitarist that no one gave a shit about.
Dude, I've been learning. My new favorite song, bro, is "Angel." Have you played that song, bro?
Angel by who?
By Hendrix.
What album? One of his post-death albums, or is it from the Electric Ladyland album?
No, it's not from Electric Ladyland.
I was about to say, because if it was on one of those first three albums, I would have heard it.
I think it's on something that was released later. It may be on Rays of the Rising Sun.
Let me look it up.
I think it's Rays of the Rising Sun. And then there's like a bootleg of him doing it just acoustic, and it's so good. But I just been all about it, dude. I've been all about that.
I love Hendrix. He's kind of like, people like him. It's like I actually just started trying to learn some of his guitar stuff that he does, and
yeah, man, so good.
I think of him like as like Coltrane, but love the guitar.
Yeah, you're totally right. And
it was just like an extension of who he was.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, like he just got to that point where he played. So one time I got to see Stanley Jordan play.
Oh my God,
in
dude,
LA,
that guy's insane.
Play a Hendrix show where he dressed up like Hendrix. It literally was like watching Jimi Hendrix.
Wow.
Like that's the only way I could really describe it. He literally embodied him. Like he played with his teeth. Like not even that's what it's about, but it's like he did from the showmanship
Mm-hmm.
to the musicianship
Mm-hmm.
to the energy. It was packed. Like it was literally like watching. Like it was the closest I'll get to ever seeing Hendrix.
Right, I see what you're saying.
In terms of like musically, it was there 100%.
Right.
Like you could close your eyes and it's like obviously there's only one Jimi Hendrix, but like there's only one Stanley Jordan too.
Yeah,
You know?
that's true. Yeah, that's
And
so
then
true. That's very true.
but he would just like his it was like his soul, like I can't explain. It's like he was on like a soul mission with this tour where he was doing the whole Hendrix tour, and it was just like a spiritual thing, man. It was like so far beyond musicianship or like, wow, he's a great guitarist. It was just like, man, it's like how the blues. It's just it's not about the notes or the music. It's just like that emotional feeling.
Right.
That it's just, it was like that for the whole show. On top of like technically
nailing it.
Can you believe he's playing the guitar like this? Like no one else in the world can ever do this on the guitar.
Right.
That's what it was like. It was like it was beyond tapping or anything like that. It was just like a connection.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, and also Stanley Jordan is the king of tapping. Like,
right. I mean, I was gonna say
before the metal guys came along, he was playing piano on the guitar.
Right. Literally, like
you
just
know
straight
what I mean?
up.
He's playing two guitars.
I mean, that's
Stanley Jordan is one of the most remarkable musicians, man. People don't.
Yeah, he kind of gets forgotten about. Jesus. Like I mean, and then when you do hear about him, you just hear like I feel like I only hear the side where he seems like he's a little nuts or something, or I don't know.
I mean, I think that he is because he's just a great artist.
Yeah.
It's like he's not he will not allow society to put any limitations on him. Like in terms of how he dresses or
just
anything.
Anything,
like,
yeah.
You know, like he's just like who he is.
Dude,
you know what I mean?
You know what's funny? You say you're talking about Hendrix is like the Coltrane of guitar. Look at the two pictures behind me.
I see that, bro. You don't think I see?
I didn't even see that till right now.
Nah, bro. I see. But that has nothing to do with my statement. That's just because we're already in the same, we're cut from that same cloth.
That's what I'm saying. You're on the same level, bro.
Yeah, but it's it's like with music, it's like you and every musician who's like, especially jazz musicians, this. It's like you study and you learn everything to just be free of everything.
Yeah, that's actually so true, man. Like the more I keep studying and like hearing things better, that's what ends up happening. It's like you learn all this stuff, and then by the time you kind of like know it all and somewhat master it, you end up just trying to get
away from it. Just return to just
in a sense.
What just sounds good? What makes you feel good?
I mean, because you're still playing all the same stuff, using all those same techniques or whatever you call them, but it's just you're not thinking about them in the same way. You're speaking it differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, there's so many different ways to talk about this because it's like, especially coming from a jazz background. I know we were both like, for people who don't know, I met Louis at a jazz jam session. So
was that at El Camino?
Connected. Huh?
Was that at El Camino with Gilbert?
Yep.
Dude, I just saw Gil today. Shout out to Gilbert for being the fucking torch leader.
Exactly. Gilbert is in my mind. Gilbert is literally the San Diego music scene. Like for me, he is like what's happening in San Diego, at least in the jazz world. In the jazz scene.
I mean, there's no denying that.
Huh?
There's no denying that. I completely agree.
Yeah. And that's just how, for me, like it was my very first jazz. Wait, was it my first jazz jam session?
Dude, that session was so cool.
I think that was my very first one. Like maybe not that night, but I was like I had no purpose approaching that stage, but it's like the confidence, like or the curiosity, and like I've been studying music. And I'm like, okay, I want to work my way towards being of that caliber to be able to play with this type of band. Like,
I mean, that's why we're all there.
Anyone who heard this band, like Rob Thurston, Irvin Flores, who was the cat who used to play drums? way back, Mexican cat, like a bigger dude. Nat's
Uh,
such a ridiculous drummer, man. Like between him and the percussionist, I can't remember the names, but
oh, Mike
such a
Holguin?
crazy band.
You're talking about Mike.
Michael Geen.
Dude, that guy's legit.
Mike Ogi, yeah, man. So like hearing these guys set this place on fire, bro. It's just like that's what really led my fire in terms of like I want to reach that caliber
Right.
for my own self, and then just like led me down the whole jazz. Like, okay, I need to study jazz, need to learn it. I have to like really dive into it, and it's been a crazy journey, since then, which was probably like 2011 to now. It's like been around the world and recording albums and doing all types of stuff I never would have thought I would have done when I was first starting and when we first met.
Right. Because I remember you
But
played
it's
guitar.
been great, man.
You play guitar when you came to the jam. You brought your guitar.
I play guitar and I still play guitar, man. I teach guitar. I'm not at your level. I'm not like a
No, but you
true
know,
guitarist,
but you know guitar.
but I have my basics down.
Like you know it, yeah, dude. You know, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I could play like a 13th chord. Like I could play the stuff, but in terms of making it work musically, context, especially jazz, which is like mastery of the instrument, playing the melody and the bass, and understanding all the other voicings, not just the bar chords, but like what each note is playing in the chord and what each note, I'm kind of starting to get into that sphere of like studying more like finger style guitar and really understanding every note that I'm playing and not just like the chord shapes and the scales, but like thinking of it more how I think of the piano. But it's a lot to take on, I've always played guitar and piano, like not always, but since I was like 16, and guitar, it's like I always really wanted to seriously study it, but I knew when I went to college that I had to decide which one would like I invest all the time in to like be as good as I can be, and that was the piano. But now I still play the guitar and I use it in my songs and in my arrangements, and I still love the instrument. It's a wonderful instrument, and I think it's has a different type of power than the piano or the keyboard.
Yeah, I like how you say power. I feel like every instrument has its own power.
Like it's right, and it comes back to Jimi Hendrix. It's like, man, that guy that was his sword, man.
Right.
Like that was his sword riding out into battle, like crowds of however many people. Like that was his tool to share his message. You know what I mean?
No, for sure.
And it's still resonating to this day. It's like, yeah, these instruments we use them as tools, but really the power is us. Is like conduits from like a spiritual sense or like a universal sense. It's like we take the vibrations and the frequencies from an ethereal place that is not here in the physical world, and we bring it into the physical world to be experienced and to be shared, and we kind of lose sight of that because music is all around us and we do it every day and it becomes normal. But it is very powerful, like the fact that we can manipulate frequencies, harmonies, and vibration, which are like the building blocks of everything in the physical world. It's matter vibrating.
Right.
Same thing, it's light particles of light becoming more dense. So we're getting now into like physics and stuff, but they're very connected. The more I study about other areas, I realize how everything kind of comes back to like.
Yeah, definitely.
Understanding frequencies, octaves, and also I'm a piano tuner. I tune piano.
Okay, so Alex, can we talk? All right. Okay, I had a moment the other day teaching, and I always trip out on, like, at least for specifically jazz, because like that's what I like, and rock and roll and blues music and all that stuff. It's definitely major scale based. You know what I'm saying? Pentatonics. And you have like, it's all comes from this major scale thing. But like when you look at the harmonic series, so when you're playing, you're talking about piano tuning, so I'm sure you know all this shit better than I do.
Mm-hmm.
But like on guitar, how you can play the higher harmonics, and you
Yep.
end up getting 1 3 5, and then so 1 3 5 flat 7 1 2 3 sharp 4 5. I think is the order.
Okay.
So
I'm not 100% sure. You're talking about the Harmonic Series, the notes in the Harmonic Series, pretty much.
I mean, I guess we could probably look it up, but I'm pretty...
It might be different on the guitar, because when you're talking about the guitar, slightly different.
Oh.
But just to simplify my understanding, and yeah, we can look it up. Basically, whenever we hear a frequency, which is called the fundamental, that's the lowest vibrating sine wave or frequency that we're hearing.
Right.
So say we hit a note, for example, A. This A is 220. So the lowest frequency we're hearing is 220. A sine wave that's beating at 220, hertz beats per second. But then we're also hearing what's called harmonics. We hear those at a smaller vibration. It's almost like, if you think of it like a ripple, like you drop a pebble in water, you have the main splash and you have all the other
ones. Yeah.
And those are how we can think of the harmonics.
That's a good analogy. I like that.
Yeah, because it's like there are other things vibrating. We just can't hear them as much as the
as strong. Yeah.
Ripple, right? So the Harmonic Series, it's the octave, then it's the fifth,
right?
Then it's
the octave,
the next octave,
yeah.
Then it's actually the major third,
right?
I may be wrong after that. I believe it then goes back to the fifth, and then it might be the flat seven.
And then I
may be wrong about that.
No, you're right. It goes 1. The spot you're at is 1 3 5.
No. It's one octave. So that's what I'm saying. On the guitar, it may be different. I'm just speaking on my knowledge from the piano.
Oh, okay.
But on the piano, it's 1
yeah.
octave, fifth, then the third octave, and then the major third.
Okay.
And then the fifth, and then might be the flat seventh after that.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not 100% sure, so we can look it up. But
okay.
That's just me going off of just.
Okay. We can look it up. I'm gonna look it up later because I started going down the rabbit hole and I don't want to right now.
No, it's all good. But it's important you bring that up because the point of understanding why we learn that is the major scale comes naturally.
That's what I'm saying, people.
That's what I know that's what you're saying. That's
okay, but wait a second. Let me take it one step. Let me take it one step further. Hey, Matt Suarez, what up? Thanks for hosting this. So let me take it one step further, bro. It goes, because I nerded out, dude.
Get on your Twitch too, by the way, so I can see this.
So this is what it is. It goes from the area we're talking about. It goes, 3 5, and then 1, and then flat 7 1 2 3 sharp 4 5. Like I'm telling you, that's what it is. If you look at it, it keeps going. And anyways, I've always wondered why.
No, I'm just gonna play what you just said, so we can hear it. In addition to what you're explaining.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's basically whenever we play one note.
That's what happens.
More subtly, yep. That's all happening.
Okay, but check it out. So, I have this theory where I've wondered why is it flat 7 and why is it sharp 5, and then it hit me, bro. Think about what you play. What is Hendrix playing all day? He's playing in a major key, and then what do? You can play blues notes, right? You're playing blues. You're playing flat 7, flat 3, and you play sharp 4 to 5. It's just the blues scale. It's like literally the blues and major scale and like all of like at least the music I love is like built into the Harmonic Series. It's crazy.
It is, yeah, exactly.
I just never thought of it like that, and I can't stop thinking of it like that.
Yeah, that's crazy when you mention it, and that's why it sounds good to us.
That's what I was saying, dude. Thank you, bro. Thank you.
It sounds good to us.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Oh God, I feel like once it hit me, bro.
That's why, like, as musicians, we're connecting with like the source. We're connecting with nature, connecting with the intelligence that's present in the universe, in consciousness.
Right. Exactly.
Just through playing music, because we are like
engaging
in these frequencies and in these what are they? Ratios, golden
Yeah.
ratios.
Oh my God, I love it. See, this is why this is why he's podcast number one, people. Ah.
You gotta start. You gotta start here.
You got to start from the bottom. You got to start.
No one can follow this podcast.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
Way shorter.
See, Alex
he can't speak as well as he used to.
This is what I'm telling you, people. You got to watch the stream on Monday because it's going to be great. Okay, so wait.
But yeah, man. So it goes deep, man. And I love having these conversations because they remind me why
you play
the last half of my life actually pursuing music.
Right.
Because it's a deeper purpose than just like, oh, let's make money or become well known. It's like, let's help humanity evolve and become like more conscious and aware beings through manipulating frequencies and vibrations, and also using that to hold a trance-like state to which we can then share a message and deliver information,
I mean, you're talking about
as a pulpit, like
you're
the
talking
great
about church.
Bob Marley or Fela Kuti or Jimi Hendrix.
Yep. You're right, dude.
And when you stay really in tune with that, you can stay in touch with the spiritual work that we're doing, that we agreed to come to this planet to do, to help people evolve as spiritual kind of guides, if you will.
I love it.
It's deep, man. It's deep. It's like we kind of just want to stay on the surface layer sometimes, but if you ask these types of questions, you realize that we are acting as extensions of the divine, helping what's happening here on this planet.
Yeah, I see what you mean. See, this is why we get along, guys. This is why we get along.
I love you, Louis. You're awesome, man. I'm always inspired by how much you are consistent, and just keep going.
Oh, thanks, man. Likewise.
That's like the main takeaway I've taken from having a failing career as a jazz musician, is just to keep going.
Hey, dude, that's literally the only thing you can take away from it is just keep paddling.
Oh my God! But on that note, I have to share with you guys.
Go.
This book talking about failing jazz musicians.
Oh, I know, and bro. I got it right here. That's what I'm saying. People don't realize, dude. And that's what I love
about the most failing jazz musician.
Right there.
Right here.
And now he's like one of the most famous ones.
To suck.
Yeah.
Until you die, and then everyone calls you a goddamn legend.
I know, it's hilarious.
After stealing your shit for the last 40 years.
Isn't that so it's just so, of course that's how it would be.
Bro.
And you know what I love about the Charlie Parker story too, of how he went up on stage and was with, what was it, Philly Joe Jones was playing drums or something, and then didn't they throw a cymbal at him, and that was the whole beginning of Charlie Parker's musical career, and that's how he went home and studied, and so basically the folklore,
his whole career was born out of failure.
That's what I mean. It's the folklore even shows that it's you just gotta the whole point is you just gotta commit and just keep doing it.
Gotta go through the fire, man.
You gotta go through the fire.
There's probably, I don't have many regrets, and actually I don't really regret this, but one moment is I was at the Blue Note with Christian Scott's quartet. I had the opportunity to go up on stage, and I didn't take it because I was a little bit too hesitant. And there was another pianist, Tony Tixier or whatever.
Yeah, I know you're talking about.
Yeah, he went up, and I was I couldn't have gone up, and I talked to Christian afterwards. But that was one thing that I regret not going up, because that was an opportunity to go through the fire.
Right.
And I didn't take it. Even though I've gone through in other ways, but that was a real.
That was one that you remember, yeah.
Blue Note, my favorite trumpet player.
Oh wow, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
You don't get that type of moment again, and unfortunately, I didn't seize it in the way that I, in hindsight, would have definitely just done anything to get up on that stage.
Right.
But everything happens for a reason, and. I've learned it's you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah, I bet you will never do that again.
So next time, I'm taking that opportunity.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, I was gonna say I bet you're gonna do it. No, of course. The next time, you learned. I see what you mean.
Learn from your mistakes, man. That's pretty much the name. That's like the whole game of life.
Okay, bro. Can
Like,
I can I
learn from
share
your mistakes,
can I share this present that Bob Boss gave me today?
please.
Bob Boss, my teacher, is the man. Showed me a lot of shit, and he's like, "Hey, I gotta give you some stuff." So he was at this recording thing we were doing, and he gave me this Ahmad Jamal record. Oh my god, what the? Oh, dude, there's treasures right here, bro. There's just straight up treasures. Okay, this is the one he gave me. This it's Ahmad Jamal.
It's a great book. I'm like trying to like low key read this book at the same time, but I'm gonna save that for later. I'm on Jamal. Which one is? Oh, that's the one Pointiana on it.
Uh,
Which one is it?
yeah,
Oh,
I think so. The piano scene. It looks like it has a bunch of different ones.
It does have Pointiana, but he's number one, man. I mean, low key, he's not number one, but in terms of his influence, he probably is number one.
So it says
Oh,
Ahmad
no,
Jamal.
you can't even say that honestly because there's a monk, but.
Oh, so look at. I don't know if there's just not a description, but it says right here on a sticky note that he wrote. It says Ahmad Jamal on piano, Ray Crawford on guitar, Israel Crosby and Eddie Kaloun, or I think that's how you say it, on bass. 1951 to 55. Anyways, epic, bro. Okay, now you ready?
Yeah, I definitely gotta hear that.
Are you ready for the bombshell?
I gotta listen to. Like he's probably my next subject to study.
Okay, you ready for the bombshell?
Another one,
bro. All look at what he gave me, bro.
Whoa!
It's a Rolling Stone.
From the Rolling Stone that named him the greatest of all time.
I don't know which one this is, but oh yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
Campaign 92. Damn, that's from before I was born.
Yeah, and this, anyways, it's falling apart, but the whole magazine's here, and it's got some interviews, and then he also gave me this. Oh, hang on, this thing. I'm gonna rip this thing. I gotta be careful. And then look, he gave me these photocopies of like these interviews. Look at this shit. Does this guy know me or what, bro?
He definitely does, man.
Like, look at this, just like.
I love that type of shit, man. That shit is like.
Oh my god! Look at that.
That's fuel to the fire.
Look at that picture. I've never seen that picture ever.
Never seen that picture before. Y'all getting some unreleased Hendrix photos.
So I'm gonna, you know what I'll do is I'll take pictures, PDFs of these. I'll send them to you.
Fuck yeah.
You know what? I'll put this on my Discord. That's what I'll do, and I'll send it to you.
I gotta get into Discord, man. I think I've downloaded it, but I'm still trying to understand how it works.
I mean, all it is, bro, is it's literally your own messaging center.
Like a forum, pretty much.
Yeah, it's like a forum, but for Alex's Twitch stream or my Twitch stream or whoever, and people you follow have their own thing. So, like, for example, I'm gonna have a Hendrix folder. I don't give a fuck. It's gonna be Hendrix all day, and I'm just gonna have a folder full of Hendrix shit. And then, like, maybe, and then I'll probably have like a transcription folder or like, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, bro, he showed that shit to me today. I was like, dude, I fucking love this guy. Crazy.
That's beautiful, man. I love stuff like that too, man. You got me thinking, like, man, do I have any like memorabilia or something? But nah, I just got a couple stories, man.
So
that's beautiful, man. I love stuff like that keeps you connected to those influences.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know what's funny though, dude, is that I'm going like now that because I feel like my ear is so much more developed now and like just way better. You know, obviously with time you get better and better. But it's just now I feel like I really can hear music pretty well. And so when I go and you know, now I feel like I'm somewhat competent on guitar. You know, and so it's weird to like when I go back and like listen to all this Hendrix stuff that I love, and then I sit down and like, or even when I just listen to it, and I'm just like, oh, I kind of see what's happening. You know, you kind of can hear the song.
Yeah, you demystify it.
Yeah, it demystifies it, but at the same time, it's still like just as amazing, if not more.
Yeah, right.
If not more,
because you also realize as a composer and as an artist, like he came up with this.
Right.
And I'm still listening to it 60 years later.
Exactly.
Like what about this is so good?
Exactly, and
That's what it is.
And so like if anything, it just ingrains it even more of just like this is amazing.
For me, it's pretty much all of his riffs.
Right.
Like I mean, it's not even all like pretty much everything he played on the guitar.
I mean,
like
where's my guitar, dude? I got to show you this.
Every intro to like every Hendrix song, it's like classic.
Oh, it's just crucial.
Like the way he played chords, I'm thinking of like "Wind Cries Mary." Just the way he played those, like.
Right. Yeah, you're totally right. It's just perfect. And then
it's like you can look back and be like, oh, it's just an ascending major 6 chord. You know what I mean? But it's still like he came up with that, and it's so perfect.
I know, dude. Oh shit!
You know what I mean? That's how I was, bro. I just learned this. I'm gonna play you the one Hendrix lick I can actually play. If I can get my shit to turn.
I'm gonna show you my latest infatuation with this song. It's fucking genius, bro. It's pure genius.
All right, I'm gonna say that for later. I'm not gonna get into my crappy guitar skills at this time.
Hey, can you hear this? Can you hear this?
Ahead. Yep.
Okay, dude, this song, you got to look it up. I'm going to send you.
Is it called Angel?
It's called Angel. I'm going to send you the 2 versions that I have. But I'm just going to show you just like it. It's just pure,
go ahead.
It's just pure genius, bro. Oh, hey, I'm really out of tune. So I've been tuning in E flat.
Ooh, okay. You really trying to get in that Hendrix world, huh?
Yeah, but you don't want to know also why is because at my church gig, I realized because I
everything you play E flat.
So
like a D flat.
I just play down a half step, and now whenever we play songs that are like in A flat, then now it's or I guess it would A flat now would be A. Or am I playing in A? Is that how it goes? It's either A or G, exactly. whatever way it is. But it's more of a guitar key.
You can play more of those open chords. You can play an A chord and it's A flat chord.
That's what I'm saying. Exactly.
You can play an open D chord and it's a D flat chord.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
it makes more sense.
It just
play a G chord and G flat. It makes way more sense.
Yeah, and it's kind of nice because it's like, oh, I'm just playing guitar. Like it's sick. You're just like, oh, I could do open strings.
Yeah. Not this bar chord city otherwise.
Right. All right.
Open E string.
Yeah, and then
or E flat.
So he's in E, right?
You know who that sounds like immediately to me?
What?
It sounds like John McLaughlin.
Oh, right. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for
Open string with the night.
For sure. But this little intro is just
keep going.
And then he ends up, so this is how it starts. And then he goes.
Oh, good.
And then he goes. He goes to F sharp. So it's like he jumps from E.
It's like an intro.
Yeah, and then he goes.
It's because he wanted to use those open strings, but. Oh, it's an F sharp major?
Yeah, bro. And then watch what happens. So it goes like, so it starts. Angel came down from heaven yesterday. Wait, I always forget this part. God damn it. Okay, yeah. So angel came down from heaven yesterday. She stayed with me just long enough to rescue me, and she told me a story right at a boom about the sweet love between the moon and the deep blue sea. So he's still in E. Over me, said I'll come back to my room. Okay, and then, or he's still in F sharp, and now he's in E. So I said, fly on, my sweet angel.
That's crazy, man.
Bro, He just goes from E to
Oh
F
my
sharp
god,
to E to
that
F
shit's
sharp
giving
to.
me goosebumps.
Bro,
That's so
it's
good, bro.
so badass,
Well, the
bro.
thing is, the thing is, that's for me is like Jimi Hendrix was murdered, bro.
Like, there's so many songs that are just
We've already talked
sleepers.
about that, but Jimi Hendrix was murdered. But just to hear that, bro, it just sounds like the fucked up thing is we already know he was getting into jazz, but it sounded
I
like his
know.
songwriting was like
I know.
developing. He was getting
Dude,
more progressive.
it was getting so advanced. It was just
He was
pure.
getting more progressive, man. And it's like shit, man. Like just to hear that song came out, but of course after he died, it's just like
Yeah, I think he had it recorded and he just didn't finish it. It was unreleased or something, or I don't know.
yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. It's just like it's unfortunate when there's a lot more
Left in him.
Yeah.
Well, don't get
A
me
lot
started
more.
on. I think they killed the guy. I think they murdered him,
No,
bro.
that's what I just said. He was murdered.
Yeah, he was murdered, bro.
We know he was murdered, man. It's like we know, like we can go on and on and on.
Oh
With this
shoot! Go on, dude, do it.
shit. Now we're on the edge of the rabbit
Prove
hole
it.
here. We know fucking. I'm gonna be real. They murder a lot of people,
Bro, we know they did. Isn't it?
We know they killed Jimmy.
Yeah.
We know. Okay. The thing is, honestly, it gets very complicated, but I believe Prince was murdered.
Okay.
I do not have I do not have evidence to back that up. That's
Okay.
just my intuition. Like,
Okay.
I don't think he was in a compromised state with his health. I think he was like poisoned or overdosed or something, and we know that he was one of the biggest artists in the world, and we know that he was trying to own his own stuff. I mean, I don't want to like speculate as to who might have done it, but I believe Prince was. There was some foul play in his death. I definitely think Michael Jackson was killed, but Michael Jackson, it's to really tell the truth about Michael Jackson, you have to just like kind of suspend your disbelief because for people who don't know me, like I'm like all the way in the rabbit hole. I'm like I live in the rabbit hole. I come to the surface to get my groceries and to hang out with normal people, but I live in the rabbit hole, bro.
Oh, bro, I love it. Why do you think I know you? Why do you think I know you, bro?
But with that being said, so if you don't believe anything I'm about to say for the rest of this podcast, that's okay. Do your own research, and I might be wrong. Like I don't know everything. I may be wrong. But with that being said, Michael Jackson. Okay, one thing we know is his father, and this is the other side. Like actually, why I wanted to have a podcast is just to talk to people about music and obviously creating music and what inspires, but also the industry and just like the fact that we're in a shitty industry, bro. We're in a very shitty industry that's not controlled by the artists. Unfortunately, it's controlled by people who have a lot of money and a lot of connections.
Well, do you think it's getting?
That's like.
Do you think it's getting better because of the internet?
Oh, definitely. No, the internet is the only thing that
it seems like a saving grace.
Like the independent artists,
right? Yeah, it seems like
it wasn't for the internet, we would all have to go through labels to really have any type of reach,
right?
Distribution. I mean, or you'd have to have an independent label, small label, like which like when I work with. But the whole point is the internet changed the game and made it so you can be your own publisher. We can do what we're doing right now. Like,
right.
We like whatever we want to do, we can do now, and the labels are just like marketing and distribution services at this point,
So what were you saying
Which
about?
They always kind of were, but they also used to be, I think, more involved with the creative process and with.
So you're saying that because we were talking about Michael Jackson, but you're saying that because of.
Let me finish my point.
Oh, okay,
the only reason I went on to just to say that the music industry is really messed up, and you have to understand how bad the music industry is to actually make sense of like what happened to some people who are victimized by
it,
not just like the industry, but actual people who are just trying to make shit tons of money. So with that being said, Michael Jackson's dad, Joe Jackson or whatever, he chemically castrated Michael Jackson to preserve his high-pitched voice.
Yeah, so see, I've heard this. I've heard this.
Fully developed. Now we've all heard this, but I feel like it's now starting to be like we know it's true.
Is it?
Right?
Do we know?
I know. This is what I believe. I recently saw some type of article or something on it, and it was like this more like before I thought okay maybe, but then I saw some type of article. I needed to look it up, but yeah, we know. I mean, by this point we know. Like we know. It explains everything. Like it explains everything, bro.
Mm-hmm.
How was his voice like that if he wasn't chemically castrated? Like,
Right.
yes, some people have high pitched voices, but that was like that wasn't natural. Okay. The other thing is, why wouldn't he just have his own kids? Like
Mm-hmm.
those obviously were not his kids.
Right.
Like those weren't his kids. He never like had a family type. You know what I mean? That came from him because I think he was chemically castrated. Now they did that. The whole reason I'm bringing this up is because they did that to preserve his voice so that he could go on to be a bigger star and to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
So, like this is like a little bit of the industry at work, you know. Besides that, Michael Jackson owned a lot of money and a lot of stake. He owned the Beatles catalog. I'm pretty sure he owned his own
Yeah, you're
catalog.
right. You're right.
So he owned more in terms of um, license wise. He had more power than Warner Brothers or
Mm-hmm.
Sony or whoever he was dealing with. I think it was Warner Brothers. He
Okay.
had more power than them.
Yeah. See,
Like between
I
Michael Jackson and the Beatles catalog,
right.
no one is topping that.
Right. I see what you mean.
So there's a huge financial. We're talking about billions of dollars. I mean, hundreds of millions, probably billions when you look at like if over a 50-year period or something. There's billions of dollars that this man controlled, and a black man.
I mean, that's what I was saying about Hendrix, bro.
Well, yeah, Hendrix is a similar situation. He wanted to change up his management or something.
Well,
We've
yeah, because
already
didn't
kind of talked about that.
he
But yeah,
wanted
he was on his way to
right?
being in that position himself.
Yeah.
And they made sure before he could rearrange his deal, while they still had a stake in ownership, they made sure that they took him out so they could guarantee the 6 posthumous albums that they would be making money off.
Right.
And this is the fucked up thing about the industry, man. It
Woo!
is like for a long time it was like people who had nothing to do with music making a shit ton of money off of artists.
Right.
And it's still happening right now. This is why Kanye is on Twitter posting all of his contracts. You know, people who have nothing to do with the music making a shit ton of money off of artists and off of our intellectual property
Mm-hmm.
because the artists wanted the fame and the fortune that was programmed into us since we were kids.
Right.
You know, and someone gives you the opportunity and you're working a 9 to 5 or whatever and you sign anything. So that's what's been happening for so long. And I actually can't speak on. I've worked with record labels. I've never been on like a major record label or anything. I've never had to deal with that, but I just hear all the stories, you know,
Mm-hmm.
from Ray Charles to Stevie Wonder to obviously Michael Jackson to everyone. All these artists,
Yeah,
it's like they're not ending their careers with fortunes and with wealth.
Mm-hmm.
They're like scraping by, and the people they were assigned to are like buying their third yacht.
Yeah, that there definitely was that.
I think there definitely is that still. It's just perception. You
Right.
know, now everything's about perception, and I'm on Instagram with, you know, a nice car and a big house, so no one cares that I don't own my music. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And it is what it is. Like I'm not here to criticize or speak on anyone else's situation at all. Like I'm happy for everyone who finds a way to put out their creative content in a way that it's received or, you know, like it's a wonderful thing. I think we just have to be more aware and transparent about at what cost. You know, I have a song that's coming out on my next album where I pretty much just say, can't sell my soul to a fake one. Um, See the bigger picture. What's the signature costing?
Mm.
So when you sign a contract, think about
Was it really costing
What
you?
is that really? What is that signature really costing you
Right.
in the long run?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how I've always been. Like for me, I want to be the type of artist where I keep putting out good music every single year, and when I'm old, people will, I'll be able to pass on any ownership of any music I have to whoever my family is,
Mm-hmm.
and not have anyone else. Like, or if we do a song together, you're gonna have part of that ownership.
Mm-hmm.
But if you have nothing to do with the song, I don't see why I would sign a contract that gives you
All the rights.
rights to the
Yeah.
music.
Right.
Now, it's obviously it's more complicated than that when it comes to money and being involved, because things have a price. But I think for me, it's like if I can get by and own all my music at the end of this journey, I think that would be more valuable to me. Because someone like Miles Davis, I wonder how much Miles Davis's catalog is worth.
I don't even. I mean, dude, it's got to be worth millions now.
I think millions that's low.
It's an understatement.
We're talking about Kind of Blues, the most selling jazz record ever.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, I would think at least it's hard to even put numbers on these things, because here's the real thing. There's the real underlying thing is the world is changing rapidly outside of music. Music is like one aspect of the whole universe. And what I'll say all that to say is the US dollar is crashing. US dollar is about to be completely obsolete and about to be replaced entirely. Because it's built off of pretty much lies and deception with the Federal Reserve and the banking practices that we've had since 1913. They're based off usury, which is pretty much charging people to borrow money. So a private bank has been charging the American government to borrow the money that we have in our circulation.
Right.
And when you do that, you create a situation where you can never pay back the bank the money in circulation because there's interest.
The interest is too high, yeah.
So
you're always
with
behind.
That being said, we live in a, I wouldn't say we live, but our society has a fictional money system, it's about to be overhauled. In my opinion, the next 2 years. It's already kind of underway, but it's under wraps.
Yeah, I kind of been thinking the same thing.
Yeah, the US dollar is about to go down. And if you look at the price of silver and gold, precious metals,
I know.
The next currency we have will be backed by precious metals, which is a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
So when
that's how it used to be.
Your money won't depreciate depending on private bankers and what they decide to charge our government on interest. That's not going to determine how much your money is worth. It's going to be tied to something that's inherently valuable.
And that's how it used to be.
Yep. It's how it always was before.
That's how America was
central bankers pretty much deceived people of this country and the politicians to leave the gold standard so that they could artificially inflate.
So real quick,
deflate our money supply.
Exactly. I see what you're saying, and that's like a fact. That's not even Alex.
No, everything I'm saying is 100%. You can research.
So my buddy Matt, that's watching us, he said that Miles Davis's net worth at the time of his death was $19 million. His album's current net worth is $10 million.
Wait. You're saying his discography or that one album?
It's no. His albums. I think his discography.
Okay, so say those numbers again.
So it said, according to Matt, it says Miles Davis's net worth at the time of his death was $19 million. That's how much he was worth as a person and all. Him. His album's current net worth, all of his albums, is $10 million.
I have trouble believing that.
I don't even know. I mean, honestly, I don't even know what a million even. I don't even know how I would know how much something's worth.
I just don't believe that.
I don't even know how you would measure it. How would you measure how much?
I don't know exactly how you would measure that. But if you just look strict, I guess you'd have to say, how do you measure that? But for me, it's like if you look strictly on just sales,
right,
it's way more than that.
You think that
So
you think
I
that,
don't know how they count it.
well, see, I don't even know. I mean, I don't even know how much
Is it licensing or I really don't know.
he's saying by sales. That's a quick internet search he found right now. I don't know, man. Yeah, I'm out of my element on that. You're out of your element, Donnie.
I don't know how that's you can't know everything, and I don't know how that stuff works. You might be completely right. If it is 10 million, then definitely lower than I thought.
Uh-huh.
But then again, this is what I'm talking about is money is not the U.S. dollar is not a great metric because it's
Right.
changing every
Yeah,
moment,
that's a
every
good point.
day,
That's a good
every
point.
second, and every year. So I mean, 10 million now or 10 million when he died,
Yeah.
because it's way different. 10 million in 1993 was a lot more than it is now. And again, this all comes back to the crash of the U.S. dollar, which is kind of happening. It's being artificially held
Okay,
up,
but what?
but
Okay, yeah.
it's only a matter of time.
I mean, it's been happening for a
And it's
while.
actually happening. It's not even like, oh, one day. It's like, no, they're actually about to roll. Like it's being rolled out slowly. They're slowly getting ready, get through this election, get through the whole next year, end this whole, pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
quote unquote. And then I think we'll start to see it very soon after that.
Hmm.
Apparently, it's going to be a rainbow currency, and it's going to be backed by precious metals.
Wait, you said a rainbow currency?
It's just what they're calling it. Yeah,
What does that
you
mean?
could look it up. It's just like how we have what's called a U.S. dollar. The notes are going to have different colors.
So
Like
are you saying like they're going to have still the US dollar but it's just going to be different, or is something else going to replace
it's
it?
like from my understanding, it's probably like if I and I'm not like the expert on this. Like I'm
Hmm.
not the people behind the scenes who are like actually read. Like let me just explain a little bit on where I'm at. Okay,
No, I'm into it
the
cuz I've been
Federal
thinking about
Reserve.
this stuff.
The Federal Reserve. Now I have to. I'm going to give you a little bit of the backstory so you kind of understand what I'm getting here.
All
The
right,
Federal
go.
Reserve, which is the central bank that printed all of our money, was taken over
Right.
by the U.S. Treasury.
Right.
So that means that the president is in control of the Federal Reserve System. That never happened before since it was founded. But it always had a private owner, president that was not elected. We didn't know who he was, and we might have looked it up, but we had no say in who was in charge of our money supply,
Wait,
right?
no, isn't
And
it
now
now?
we
Isn't it
do have a
now?
say. Hmm?
Wait, I think I thought it was the opposite. Isn't it now a private institution whereas before?
No, no, no. The Federal Reserve was always a private institution. It's always
Okay.
a private bank. It always has been, and it was recently taken over by the U.S. Treasury. Okay,
Okay.
if you look this up, and it's very deceptive. They're very deceptive because they call it the Federal Reserve, even though it has nothing to do with the actual,
Country.
elected government.
Right.
Okay, so now with that being understood, it was recently taken over. This is all part of this process I'm talking about. So in my estimation, it's going to be a phasing out process. So we're going to be phasing out the U.S. dollar, let's say over 10 years,
And why
arbitrary.
are they doing this though?
Well, because we've been literally slaves to these private bankers and working for money that is inherently meaningless, and we need to end this system of being slaves to paper money that doesn't mean anything and actually put our energy into working for things that don't just deteriorate
Yeah.
or go up and down based off of the investments of private bankers.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like the real question is, why did we ever agree to allow private bankers to decide to control all of our money supply for a whole country?
Yeah, I never understood that.
Most people don't. Most people don't even understand that the Federal Reserve is not a public, like it's not
It's
like
not pub. Yeah,
a
I see what you mean. It's a
under the
private.
government,
Yeah, yeah. It's a private institution.
private bank,
Yeah.
even worse.
Yeah.
So this is all changing, and this is kind of like part of the rabbit hole. There's so
Mm-hmm.
many different tunnels and aspects, but this is an important one because it comes back to like, what is our songs and our music worth?
Mm-hmm.
You know, how do we actually determine that? How do we
Yo,
measure
that's how
that?
we
It's
got on
not
this.
just, oh, it's $9.99 or it's $15.99. Like, how do we actually determine what it's worth? And how can you actually measure the impact it might have? Like
Mm-hmm.
Jimi Hendrix or Miles Davis. Like Miles Davis has changed my life 100%. I wouldn't be here today. I wouldn't be sitting here. I never would have pursued music with the same veracity and
Mm-hmm.
like I need to be like as great as I can be. I need to get ready for that moment.
Right.
If it wasn't for someone like Miles Davis. And I say that to say, like, how do we measure the impact of someone's music besides just trying to put a dollar amount on it?
Right. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a great point. Because it's
You know,
always you
because if the
basically
whole system crashes,
right.
is music now
Is it not?
worthless?
Is it?
You know, Frank Zappa had an album about it called Joe's Garage.
Dude, I'm glad you said that.
Frank Zappa, he's the man. He was
He's the man.
he literally was. I think Frank Zappa, like us and like a lot of people that we're mentioning, was 100% an extraterrestrial, like sent from a different planet to come down here and help
Save everyone. I know for sure.
tell people like, look at
Yeah.
what like look at how society is. Like,
Right.
how did we get to this point?
Yeah.
And just help us see, like, whoa, how did we get here?
Right.
You know, same with Jimi Hendrix, like Machine Gun, Vietnam War, like, what are we doing?
Yep.
You know, like this hold on, like this for a moment of just think like how do we get here? You know, and we gotta ask ourselves, and it's the same thing with this private bank. Like we just grew up in this society, we were kids, we just trusted, oh, the adults, they know what's best.
Mm-hmm.
They know, and then we became adults and we're like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah. You're like, wait a second.
Like you guys haven't figured out shit.
Yeah.
And on top of that, you're not even addressing the problems.
Yeah. You're just ignoring them.
Plainly see.
Right.
You know, and I've been, you know, since I was in high school reading about, like I did a report in high school about how the Federal Reserve was like everything I'm telling you about now,
right?
Pretty much. Like it's a private bank. We don't control their money supply. Look how it was founded. They're founded in secrecy by all the world's most powerful bankers coming together on this island, Jekyll Island. It's like most people don't know this,
that
but
shit's
this
so
is all
true.
history.
It's true. It's fact. Yeah.
And if you pull out your wallet right now and you take out your money, it says Federal Reserve note, but we don't even understand what that means.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like you could work your whole life slaving year after year, like most people do in this country, in this society. And you, at the end, you stacked up all the Federal Reserve notes you can. What is it worth?
Right.
Like, okay, I can pay my rent, I can buy this material thing, I can get this, but like, who controls what it's worth?
Yeah.
It's not us.
Yeah.
You know, like we don't control the value. You walk into a grocery store, bread was $3.
Now it's $5.
Now it's $6.
Yeah.
Did the bread change? Did it get twice as hard to produce this bread?
No, I mean, if anything, it got easier.
I'm not earning twice as much money for my labor.
Right.
You know, so it's like all these things, man. These are like the layers and layers of understanding, like how we got here in society. Where are we and where are we going? Like what is this? Like where do we want to be in the future? Like how do we want to set things up so when your kid goes to work for however many hours that they can actually take what they've earned and save it and not have it depreciate based off a private bank,
right?
That we have no control over, you know. So all these things like we kind of overlook, but they're so important. And for me, this is why I'm so excited about the potential of what I believe is going to happen once a lot of this stuff is kind of evolved and restructured to actually work for like humans, work for people, and not just for the control of a very small, you know, group.
Do you think that the internet and the fact that I can just video call you and stream this and we're talking about all this shit, do you think that it's going to change? Like, I feel like it's got to be able to like shed light on these issues easier, and it's harder for them to hide
No,
everything.
100%. The internet literally saved the world.
I hope so. I mean, I feel like right now it's like the downfall of the
It
world in a
did.
certain way.
No. The internet saved the world.
I hope so, because I think it's great the fact that we can do all these things. But that's the other step right now is that, like, I mean, it could save the world if they let it, because now they're telling people that, if you say the wrong thing, they'll deplatform
I
your
got banned
ass.
off Twitter. I got banned off Twitter.
See what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. But so if but see, then that means you don't have the internet.
But that shows that. Let me say a couple things. One thing I want to say: the internet saved the world because the powers that were, or the people that used to control all the flow of information and everything that we're talking about, they did not count on us being able to do this and have these conversations and then share it and put this on internet and then potentially reach 1 million people.
Right.
And that's why now YouTube is pulling down channels and banning people like as fast as they can, literally. Same with Twitter. And they just had a hearing about this today, actually.
Really?
They had Google, YouTube, they had Mark Zuckerberg, Jack Dorsey from Twitter, and the guy from Google all being asked questions by the Senate about their censorship. Today. It happened today.
That happened today? Oh, look at this timing.
Very relevant.
Perfect timing.
It's on C-SPAN. Yeah, it's very relevant. But the internet was the one thing they could not count on for us sharing this information. They wanted us to get all our information from CNN, MSNBC, ABC, those which they can control and which they do a great job of controlling.
Mm-hmm.
And they want us to all get our flow of information from there. They didn't count on all this stuff leaking on the internet to allow us to actually see how corrupt and terrible and demented a lot of these people are. And it's happening right now as we speak. That's why I say the internet saved the world. Now, and when it comes to censorship, that means that what we're doing is working. Okay? If you're being censored
right
by big tech and the powers that were, that means that what you're doing is effectively working
and they're
to
upset.
help other people wake up by sharing information. That's why they have to censor you. If it wasn't working, why censor you?
But you would think that they I mean, at least here in America, you're not supposed to censor people.
Exactly.
You see, that's the whole issue, though. Is like I feel like
this is the thing is, and this is really what it comes down to is, yeah, 100. You're 100% right. Now the reality of it, and this, whether or not this isn't really, I don't know if this is popular or unpopular. I don't really care. But the point of what I'm trying to say is the reason why this is happening is because, or society. I mean, big tech companies, politicians, almost every aspect of our society that controls the flow of information has already been hijacked by intelligence communities and by also foreign governments. So basically, censorship is something you'd see in China.
Right.
Where,
that's what you think
can't
of.
access certain websites, can't get certain informations because they control that. My girlfriend, she plays saxophone. She went to Abu Dhabi. She couldn't use Zoom. She couldn't use a lot of any type of video chat. She couldn't use. They banned it over there. Okay?
Wow.
Now, these are the types of kind of oppressive governments that do that type of stuff. Now, America, we're kind of, in certain ways, we're kind of inching towards that because we have dishonest actors who are being controlled and being bribed, being blackmailed by communist China, by Ukraine, by all the types of foreign governments.
Right.
Iran, who
there's a lot of them
have dirt on people in our government and who use that to force them to do stuff. Not only that, but also we have to realize that a lot of these things were never created to just, oh, hey, it's innocent. Put all your stuff on Instagram and share it with your friends. That's what they portray. But really it's how do we effectively track all people and all information without having to pay for it or work for it? That's why they created Facebook. Who? The CIA.
You think so? So you're saying that you think that they made that beforehand, knowing what they were going to use it for?
Oh, 100%. And the CIA has already said this. They've already, there's videos where they're talking about, okay, well, It used to cost us a lot of money if we were trying to find someone and find where they were and track them. And
But now they do. Now you do it for them. Yeah.
It's man hours. We gotta, make calls. Gotta follow lead. Gotta go on the ground, investigate. It's a lot of stuff you have to.
I mean, honestly, bro, I wouldn't be surprised.
So the CIA then creates Facebook, and they convince everyone through the media to use it. And now I click on your Facebook. Oh, yesterday he was at this restaurant. Oh, today he's flying to Dallas. We give out all our information because we trust these companies that are using it to sell, one, and two, to track us and to get to the CIA. And it's not just the CIA, it's also the Israeli intelligence community, which is the Mossad, and that too was working with Jeffrey Epstein. So it all ties in.
Oh, bro, we're going deep. We're going deep, people.
This is the rabbit hole.
We're going deep.
The same people who are watching you on Facebook are the same people who are funding Les Wexner and Jeffrey Epstein.
Bro,
guess who went to Jeffrey Epstein's island? Mark Zuckerberg.
Did he really?
Facebook. And he talked about it, and he talked about doing some stuff. Like he talked about, I don't even want to mention it because I don't know who was exact. Like I don't know the audience, but basically he talked about. He hinted at rituals that they do on Epstein Island.
Yeah.
So if anyone who knows what happened on Epstein Island, he mentioned that he took part.
He said that? I've never seen that. That's crazy.
Okay, well, look up Mark Zuckerberg and adrenochrome. If you know what adrenochrome
Jesus Christ, we're going down.
Blood of children after they've been terrified to death.
Oh no, I've heard this. I
wish it wasn't so fucked up, but this is the world we're living in.
Hey, dude, I just love how deep we're going on the first one. Yes.
There's only one way to do it.
There's only one way to go, bro.
I have a filter, but I don't use it very often.
No, it's great, dude. This is no filter zone.
And also, this is why we have the internet.
Bro. We're just chilling. This is what we needed.
But I can't start censoring myself now. I'm gonna let them censor me. I can't censor myself.
Hey.
Right? So with that being said, I don't necessarily want to just larp on one topic, but basically,
I mean, honestly, a lot of the stuff you're saying is not. A lot of the stuff you're saying, though, let's just say this is like it sounds crazy, but like honestly, once you really look into it, it's like not. You start finding shit, and honestly, Matt's over here chatting. He's like, "Dude, you need to get a fact check." He's right, but still, if you go down, that's what
tell me where I'm wrong.
But that's what I'm saying.
Let me know where I'm wrong.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Is that if you go down that rabbit hole,
anything I said was wrong.
No, that's what I mean. Is that you're not that far off. That's what I mean. Is you're not that.
Let me know where I'm a little bit off, because I'm telling you everything I've said.
I know, bro.
I would not be saying if I did not believe. So
I know.
With that being said, please help me point out exactly where my mistakes are.
Oh man,
it gets crazy. Wait till we see the complete list of who was on Jeffrey Epstein's island.
Oh, bro.
And wait till we fully understand what was happening there.
I mean, dude, they're not gonna let. Do you think they're gonna find out?
They're not gonna.
They're not gonna let everyone. They're not gonna let.
They are losing control. That is why the internet is, like I said, save the world, because they didn't want to let Hunter Biden's emails out.
Oh yeah, what about this shit? They're censoring. I've been seeing this. They censor whenever someone shares that story. It's getting you're not allowed to.
New York Post story was censored. New York Post is like one of the oldest
newspapers in America,
in the country.
Yeah,
and it was censored by Twitter for sharing an article. Now Twitter said that they censored it, and today they had the hearing, which I watched. And Jack from Twitter, CEO, he said they censored it because they thought that it was hacked information. Now, when asked, did you have any evidence to show that it was hacked? They said no. So they just assumed that it was hacked, even though in the actual New York Post article, it says where they got the information from, which was from a laptop. So it's clear censorship. It's clear censorship for anyone who's willing to actually just be honest.
Well, and it's because they don't want, if there's any chance that you could, mess up Biden's name at all, they don't want that right now.
But then this is what we call election interference.
Right.
Now these are now tech companies practicing election interference and censoring American citizens, going against their own terms of service. So, in my opinion, we need to see some arrests.
I mean,
Because we have to show you cannot interfere with the democratic process in this country.
I mean, but dude, it goes
Otherwise,
so
what is it
deep.
worth?
It goes so deep though. They're gonna have to start arresting all these people. I just don't see it happening.
Exactly.
I just don't see it happening though. There's so many people.
Exactly. Yeah. CNN, MSNBC, Fox, all of them. A lot of arrests need to happen for me to actually have faith in the system. A lot of arrests need to happen.
I mean,
I think that's the one thing that me and all the other conspiracy theorists can agree on is a lot of people need to get arrested.
I mean, it's not conspiracy if it's true.
No, it's 100% true. I just used that as a joke. That's what they label us. And again, that's the CIA came up with that term to discredit people who question the official narrative about anything. First, it was 9/11 and JFK. They use it on anything. If you question anything the government says, even when they come back and say, "Oh yeah, Vietnam War, we lied about that. Gulf of Tonkin, yeah, we admit it. We lied. We lied us into a war." Again, when they come back and say, "Oh yeah, there was no weapons of mass destruction," we all lied about that. We lied us into a war for 19 years, the longest war in American history. Was based off of a lie.
Yeah, it wasn't even. Yeah, they found nothing.
And you know who pushed that lie? Joe Biden.
Don't tell
I'm not trying to get too political on here, but that's
you're
just
right.
a fact.
I know, but dude, you start talking facts and people don't want to hear it because they think that that can't be. No, we can't. We have to. No, what do you mean? Don't say that, Alex.
It's like, are you saying that I can't vote for? Are you saying?
What?
Are you saying that we should let Trump win again?
No, I'm not.
No, that's not what
I'm not saying that. Yeah, we're not saying that.
I'm saying that part of the problem is it's not just so cut and dry sometimes.
I know, you're right. And why is no one talking about this? Why is the news not talking about that? Like, that's what I don't understand.
Well, this is, again, a lot of people need to be arrested. The news is, here's the first thing to understand. All the news, every single channel you flip to is owned by the same 6 companies.
Yeah, I know.
Doesn't matter what channel you flip to; it's all owned by the same few.
And they own a couple. Yeah, you go to one channel, they don't own that one, but they own the other 2 around it. Like,
they probably don't own the public broadcasting, but that's it, right? The point I'm trying to make is, Gil Scott-Heron, the revolution will not be televised because the people we're revolting against are the ones that are programming us through the television.
Yeah.
Those are the people that we are revolting against. Why do you think that they will never allow someone who has a dissenting view go on one of the platforms that then has sponsors by pharmaceutical companies?
Right. Yeah, I mean, they're not
going to let someone come on there and say, "Hey, we should legalize CBD and decriminalize it in this country. That way people can actually get a medicine that's natural and works for things like cancer and a whole host of other things instead of being poisoned to death by the pharmaceutical companies."
No, Alex, we need to make money, bro. Stop it.
And then they found out they could make money from selling weed, and you see how quickly they changed their tune.
I know. It's so funny.
They went from locking up black people to saying that
hey, can we
black
talk?
people should own weed businesses in like 5 years.
I mean, is there a lot of? I mean, do you think? I mean, I don't know how many people. I don't know who owns all these businesses. Who are these people that own these businesses? These weed businesses. They got to be people that have money that were in the game.
Already had money. Yeah,
that's what I'm saying. They're in the game already
for the licensing. It's again, it's like a money grab. It's like the people with the most power and influence are the ones who are in the position to actually open dispensaries legally.
Mm-hmm. Hey, what about the fact? Why is no one talking about the fact that all this shit, shit's hitting the fan somewhat? Obviously, it seems like in this country.
No, people are, it's just they're being censored.
But check it out.
The unfortunate part. They're being ripped down from YouTube. Mm-hmm. There's been like hundreds of channels deleted in the last couple of weeks. All of them who are pretty much exposing some aspect of the corruption that we're talking about, what I would call the deep state, which has been coined the deep state, which are pretty much the actors and the people that are not elected, that are behind the scenes, that control a lot of things, and part of that is the intelligence communities, the FBI, the CIA. You had
Mm-hmm.
a bunch of bad actors in there that were actively, working to spy on Donald Trump
Mm-hmm.
before and after he was elected. I don't personally love Donald Trump, but at the end of the day, you shouldn't.
I know what you mean.
At one point, it's like, okay, does the president have more power or the unelected people in the FBI and the CIA? Should
Right.
they be able to spy on the one that we elect, or should, you know,
Right.
that's what was happening. And that's not being talked about. And I think that actually is important for people to actually understand, whether you're Democrat or Republican, like, we have to all agree, hey, you shouldn't be allowed to just spy on people and make up stuff about them and people around them. And, if you look at what happened with the Pfizer warrant and Michael Flynn, and, it was criminal. There's a lot of criminals in the FBI and the CIA and the Department of Justice. And they've also been covering for the true criminals like Hillary Clinton for a very long time.
Mm-hmm. And well, but they don't go after them.
Like Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah, they don't go after them.
FBI, look at the Netflix documentary. The FBI
I know.
knew about Jeffrey Epstein for like a decade plus.
I know.
They had the info and they didn't go after him. Why? Because there's people in there who are literally protecting him.
Yeah.
We have people inside our own justice system that are protecting other rich people. And all this is what's being exposed. And this is what really needs to be changed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, I know.
This is the real threat to our democracy and to this country.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
As much as I'm a global citizen,
mm-hmm.
first,
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we live in this country. We're citizens of this country. And if we agree to participate, we have to also agree that there needs to be real checks and balances, and not just between the judicial system and the legislative branch and the executive branch, but with all of these shadow agencies of the government. And this isn't even, we can go black hole. The government, the day before 9/11, they announced that they lost $6 trillion of American taxpayer money.
I know. Yeah, you're going back. See, you're getting deep.
They lost $6 trillion. No, the real fact is they didn't lose that money. They spent it on black operations.
Mm-hmm.
And part of that is space programs. Probably the majority was space programs, as well as underground facilities, tunnels, bases.
Okay, who knows, bro?
Underground bases all throughout the world, and
I wouldn't be surprised, dude.
Yeah, no, it's real. It's real. You could even look it up. You can see pictures. Huge underground cities and tunnels, which have been used for all types of things.
How do you think they hide that stuff, though? How do you think they hide it? If there's people making it, how would they hide that shit? You gotta have a whole.
How do they hide a lot of the stuff together?
Yeah,
how do they hide the nuclear bomb with all those people working on it? How do they hide all of the secrets that we know exist inside the military intelligence community? They hide it because if you come out, you're called a whistleblower. You're discredited.
You're crazy.
Your livelihood is threatened. Yeah. You have to move. Your whole family. The CIA, when the CIA is coming after you, it's over, bro. You're on the run. You're in hiding. You have 3 different ID cards. You're going from state to state. You're making calls from goddamn. You're trying to find these pay things. You know what I mean? You're not even using a cell phone, bro. This is how they go after you, and they do it all before they even bring you into court, before you're even charged with crime.
Right. No,
they did this to Malcolm X. They did this to John Lennon. They did this to Bob Marley. They did this to Fela Kuti.
Do you know that there's FBI documents of Hendrix, and they released them, and there's whole paragraphs blacked out, bro?
If you are any type of A-list celebrity, you are already being either watched or you have a handler.
Okay, hang on real quick.
Controlling what you say, and there is, and that's again why you don't see a lot of people in the mainstream talking about this. But one person you do, one person who's out there actually talking about this is Roseanne Barr, the comedian.
Oh yeah, I love that lady.
He actually goes down the rabbit hole, and they call her crazy.
They call her crazy because they just dismiss her.
He didn't want to go along with their secret ritual shit at Comedy Central, and they called him crazy. Dave Chappelle. He had to go to Africa. They call you crazy first.
Yeah, that's true because it's easy to dismiss. All right,
Yeah, exactly.
my buddy said that this guy Pierre Omidyar effectively owns YouTube because he owns eBay, which bought YouTube, and one of his best friends is Jeff Bezos. He said, again, if we going down the rabbit hole, let's go. He said, I'm in.
Hey, I'm all the way in, but we haven't even really gone down. Like we're still like we gone down it a little
Oh
bit.
yeah, we're not even.
The real political rabbit hole, and like, because you said we're going in. This is like pretty much my understanding right now is we have to understand that this whole politics, most of the politics we see, politicians, I'm sorry, have been deeply corrupted, especially the career politicians. When I say deeply corrupted, I mean they are taking money from their money laundering and taking money from foreign governments and criminals, straight up criminals, and using that obviously to sway how they vote, how they do business, what they pass, what they don't pass, and they've been doing it for so long. And it's on Republicans and Democrats. It's damn near all of them.
Right.
It's damn near all. Okay. Now there's a handful of them that are actually honest in there, but they don't really get much media attention. But for the majority, we're talking about rabbit hole. Here's the big connection that we have to fully make. Like once you see this connection, a lot of what's happening kind of gets demystified for you in the public's eye because you realize that it's all smoke and mirrors. Everything is about narrative, it's smoke and mirrors. And that's why the media has been going so hard to cover for Joe Biden. They haven't said one word about those. They don't want to talk about it.
I know
they don't want to talk about it. Just wait, skate till after the election.
Wait one more.
That is, and we haven't even. I'm not going to give my whole theory on the election.
No, I get you.
Okay? But the connection to make is that the human traffickers, okay, the sex traffickers, they work, and this is not even a secret. We can look this up. They work with the intelligence communities, the CIA, the Israeli Mossad, and I'm sure Communist Chinese Party, their intelligence, all these secret intelligence communities, or three-letter shadow agencies, have been working with these criminals to get blackmail on other parts and use that to hold over them, because once you have dirt on someone,
right,
and
you could do it. You make them do whatever they want.
If it involves pedophilia, they will do whatever you want.
Right.
It is game over.
Yeah,
it's not about money anymore. It's about blackmail.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we have to understand is happening in politics. Okay. And when you understand that, and then we can start to see, this is why it's so important that some of these, like the Jeffrey Epstein flight logs, there's already some that are out there, but we need like it to be official.
Right.
Because when we see the people that were participating in this and people wrap their heads around, hey, all these celebrities that you've been programmed to think are wonderful, amazing people, because we put them on TV and the media since you were 4 years old, and now you're in your 20s or 30s, and you're used to thinking, oh, we love these people.
Right.
When we realize that they have been involved in some of the worst crimes against children and humanity, the whole world is going to turn on them, and they're not going to be able to go. They're not going to be able to do anything. So it's actually safer if they're already behind bars or prosecuted. It's safer, because if we found out something's happening, these people were on the streets, they would be publicly, lynched.
Right.
If you found out that someone was involved in sex trafficking and children and
it sounds so. It sounds
crazy.
Yeah, I mean it's
like. I mean, it sounds crazy if you're in the fairy tale world of, these people are great people, and
right.
But if you understand that, like, these people are all self-interested, all of them, even the ones who they look like, oh man, I donated to his campaign, and all of them. You realize that it helps realize what's happening, and it helps you understand what's been going on and what's about to take place.
Right.
In my opinion. And I'm really just trying to share information. Like, I'm not even trying to change anyone's mind
No,
or
I get
like,
you. You don't have a narrative. Yeah, you
I'm
just.
literally just like, look, guys, this is my personal viewpoint.
Mm.
This is my research,
Well, you're just
and
about the truth.
yeah, and this is what I feel like is about to happen. And I know for people like, for example, my parents, I try telling my parents certain things, even things that I consider are light,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like it's cognitive dissonance. That's like the whole 2020 for me. It's cognitive dissonance. It's people don't want to believe that they were bought into a lie.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want to believe it. So they will go to the ends of the earth to convince themselves that pretty much no matter what happens, Donald Trump is wrong and everyone else is not as bad as him.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no matter what. Like, no matter what bill passes, no matter what, like, people are going to convince them. And I'm not even making this all about Donald Trump because
No, but
honestly, I don't
I see your
care either
point.
way.
Yeah,
But people don't want to believe that maybe I was wrong about this thing.
yeah, because I mean, that means their whole life would be a sham on some level.
No, and there's not even that. Because, like, that's the thing is, here's the other problem is we identify with our beliefs too much. We shouldn't at all. Beliefs are like thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
They're flickering. They come and go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like when you meditate, you find that center, and if you see the thoughts, they come in, they go out, and you learn you are not your thoughts. You know, you're not your emotions.
Mm-hmm.
You're not this body, this vessel. Everything that we identify with is not true.
Mm-hmm.
We are actually a connection to God, to the divine. We are infinite spiritual beings having an experience where we have been pretty much, we agreed to deceive ourselves to believe that we are physical, limited beings so that we can grow spiritually.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Now, a lot of people wake up to that deception, like myself, like yourself, and we try to, while we're still here, help other people around us.
Right.
That's really my mission.
Yeah.
I'm helping people ascend.
Yeah.
And I've realized that. I realized this actually when I was at a Pink Floyd concert. I was on a Pink Floyd concert on LSD, and I took 2, but they were actually double dose, and he didn't tell me. Who was it's a friend of mine. Was a friend. It's a very malicious thing to do. So if you ever are giving someone, psychedelics, don't lie to them about how much it is.
Yeah.
Or deceive them, or not tell them. It's a very karmically negative thing to do.
Right.
I believe I moved past it. I hope he's moved past it, but it's not a good thing to do. But nonetheless, it happened. And I was like totally I had an out of body experience at this Roger Waters The Wall Pink Floyd concert.
Okay.
And I actually had the option to stay out of my body and to just be a part of a greater awareness of consciousness.
Okay.
Really returning to who I was. I describe it as like when you have a really tight shoe on and you take off the shoe, that's what it was like leaving my body. It's like I was free of this constricting vessel.
Okay.
I could go anywhere, be anywhere, be anything. I still had my mind, my thoughts. I could still think things and had intention.
But you weren't tied down.
I was not trapped to this localized point. Right. Now, why am I bringing this up? When you realize that you're not just like a physical body, a lot of the deception in this world starts to fall apart because you're not living in fear.
Mm-hmm.
And when you break free of the fear and the attachment to this life, you can start to see what is your purpose here. Oh yeah, right. So I said that to say, so I could have I had the option to leave and to stay out.
Oh right,
out of my body, but I actually chose
to come
back. I had a strong feeling that my work wasn't done here.
Okay. And
I had to come back, not just like for me, but for my family and for my mission, And so I chose to come back and to like carry out this mission to help people ascend and to reach their full potential, because you're using like 1% of what we can do.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I kind of agree with you.
In terms of like telepathically, we're all telepathic. We're all connected through electromagnetic frequencies to the earth, to the sun, to the universe, to each other. We're all connected. The illusion is that we're all separate. That is the illusion. And it's very convincing when you're here. It's very convincing. But it's not the truth. The truth is we're all connected. And it's the same with music. Like everything is part of the same field of vibration. Now we carry specific signatures, but we're all part of the one universe, one song. We're all part of the same consciousness. And that also is part of like awakening to your true self, your true nature, is realizing there is nothing outside of you. There's nothing that you are not. The truth is we are all actually God. And people don't want to hear that because religion has programmed and trained us.
Yeah, they don't want to hear.
God is out there. God is something else that you have to reach to, or you have to pray to. You have to do some type of ritual to connect with God.
You're totally right.
But that's not really the truth. The truth is that if God is infinite, and it's not even a question, source is infinite. There's only one source. You are a part of it. There is no outside.
Right.
Even those forces which we may call dark forces or call our enemies or the demons, we are that as well. That is a reflection of who we are.
It's definitely,
That's like the real spiritual test, is to see yourself in everything. Everything is you. Everything is just another representation of you as the one infinite source. Now, that doesn't mean that there is not good and there's not evil. It's like there is duality in the physical world, and it has become too extreme. That's why we have to go through such a intense awakening and enlightening on this planet, is because the dualistic, the forces that control us have become so strong that they have to be completely taken down for us to ascend to the fourth and fifth density of like spiritual,
the next levels.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what's happening now, and that's why this is all coming out. This is why all this has to come out. We have to all realize what was happening here, so we don't make the same mistakes as we go forward and ascend. And it's a process. It's been a very it's been a beautiful process. It's been very like eye-opening for me. I've learned a lot. I'm still learning every day. It's like new revelations and new downloads, spiritual downloads or ancestral downloads. However, we're being sent information from the universe. It's amazing. I'm so excited. I'm so glad to be here with you, sharing this with you. I'm excited for what we're going to do on Monday with this concert.
So what you want to talk about? Some of the music? What are we gonna play at some of your albums?
If we're done with the rabbit hole, it depends on the chats.
We might go in the rabbit hole at any moment.
We'll come back to it. But yeah, the music, it's basically been writing music since like around the time I met you.
Yeah, ever since I've known you.
2011, and I've just been, stacking up songs. I have some songs which I think a couple of them will be standards after I die. And I'm gonna just, I've kind of, for me, I've realized, for me as a musician, it's like I realized that I have to perform and play my own music, and the reason why is because there's no one else who's gonna do it
right
on this planet.
That's true.
I'm the only one who's going to do it. There's a lot of people who will play Wayne Shorter's music. There's a lot of people who will play the Beatles' music, but I'm the only one who will play Alexander Anderson's music.
Right.
So while that's the case, I have to do it.
Right, I like it.
Continue to push it until other people start to go, not only is this great music, but we need to study this and we have to, carry it forward. And that would be a great honor for me, is if when I get older, other people want to seriously look into my music and like understand, not even like why I wrote it or anything, but just like how it works and what makes it different, Right. And I feel like every musician who plays my music goes on that journey.
Definitely.
Of like, what is this? And it's like this. And this is
I definitely
not quite
have
what I thought. And then this is kind of cool. I see it. I like it. It's always a journey. And then
it's so right on.
I work with so many musicians, and if you've ever been in my band, God bless you, because I imagine I'm not I've been told that I could I've been told a lot of things from band. I take it with a grain of salt, honestly, but um, I know that I can be a very stern band leader, and I think that comes from a great tradition of knowing how the music is supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
When people don't meet that way, you have to hold them to the fire. You have to force them to rise to the occasion, or not.
Yeah.
You know, and that is part of, for me, that's honestly part of like jazz.
That's the tradition, bro.
Yeah, to me, that's a tradition.
Yeah.
It's like Art Blakey, Dizzy Gillespie, Harley Parker, Duke Ellington, Count Basie. It's like you need to be at a certain standard, and you have to also understand the composer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like, oh, I'm a virtuoso. It's like, okay, that's step one.
Right.
Now learn what he wants you to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And so that's kind of how I look at my music. It's like some of it's not that complicated. Some of it, like, I need to practice it. I'm waiting for my girlfriend to get home so she can print out all my charts so I can really start to look at my melodies again.
Yeah.
But yeah, some of my songs are a while ago and they're kind of more simple but effective. Some of my stuff is more modern and it's more of like me trying to write something that's compositionally brilliant, like Bill Evans or like Thelonious Monk, where it's like
people that you
wow,
admire.
I can't even believe I came up with this.
Right. Right.
And for me, that's I have a couple of songs like this. One is a song called "A Nice Little Waltz." Oh, let me fix this. I'm getting it. I'm
Do your thing, dude. Make it perfect.
I'm not happy with the way this digital piano is sounding.
I'm opening up your folder that you sent me, because I know you have a bunch of different kinds of music. That's the thing, is that I'm curious what we're gonna do tomorrow or on Monday. Is it gonna be? Well, here we go. I have it all right here, so I can share some of this too. See, I recognize some of these. Like, so the complete scores, from the concert, the Dizzy show, you have all the Blossom stuff.
Yep. We're gonna decide what tunes we're gonna do, man. We're gonna choose the easiest ones.
Well, honestly, we should think of a set list right now, because the thing is.
Oh yeah, yeah, for sure.
We're gonna do 2 sets, so we'll do one at 7 and one at 8:30. 8:30 can be a little longer and more relaxed and chill. And we could talk and hang out.
Pull up what I sent you here. But yeah, my music. When I think of my music, it's like all kind of. Every time is different. That's one thing I think I heard Wayne Shorter talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like the composition represents a little. Some of them represent where I was at in my life, or physically or mentally when I wrote it. And some of it is just like something to play, like a lot of my early tunes were like, hey, let's just play this.
Yeah.
Something that we could play. My very first song I wrote, that was like a jazz tune. It's a waltz.
Can you turn your piano up?
Yeah, it was a waltz called Sandy Lego.
Oh, I know this one.
Yeah.
Oh, I know that one. Hey, Alex, move that mic off of your piano, because I hear more of the thuds than the actual piano.
How's this?
Yeah.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I gotta fix my keyboard. Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, I remember this one.
And looking back on that, it's like that was actually a pretty good tune.
Hell yeah, it is.
The first song I wrote, but harmonically, so it goes to the 1, 4, then it's the sharp 4, which of course leads to the 5, and it goes to the flat 6 major to the 6 minor, and a 2 5, and like compositionally, harmonically, that's very like textbook. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then the B section, it goes to like I probably was experimenting with that whole tone scale, and it's a waltz, but it goes to 4/3.
I remember this. Are we going to do this one?
Yeah. Okay, so now the C section. I actually rewrote this. Before it was just back to the A. Then I was like, let me do something more there. So then it goes to the 6, 4 minor. So it's actually like 4 minor in first inversion.
Okay.
So it's like that A flat. So it's just descending 6, flat 6, but it's really that 4 minor sound. Back to 1 with an inversion. If you can write inversions and actually make it make sense, then in my mind, you're a great composer.
Nice. Yeah, I like that. That's a good point.
And it goes to the sharp 4, but it's actually a B minor in second inversion. Again, kind of functional inversions. To me, that's like a characteristic, as I said, of a good composer. G sus, A sus, so then the 6 sus, 5 of 2. Also, to any composers you might be listening out there, please never ever overlook music theory.
Oh yeah, can we talk about that? Because I like that. Why would someone overlook it?
Because they just want to play.
I know, but that's what everyone says. But my whole thing
everyone wants, when you first pick up an instrument, you want to learn, and this is natural. You want to learn the least you need to know to play what you want to play. Like if you want to, my first song was.
Right.
That's all I wanted to learn.
Right.
Actually, that wasn't my first song. My first song was this one. I can't even play it now.
No, I know what you mean, though. You have...
Whatever,
Yeah.
I haven't played that in so long. Now I feel embarrassed because I can't even play the first song I learned how to play.
No, you can. You just have to revisit it.
The point is, you just want to learn what you need to know to play what you want to hear.
Right.
That's most people when they first start. You don't want to go straight to learning how to play the C sharp harmonic minor scale. It's like you don't want to learn all that stuff.
Right.
You want to just go straight to what you do. And that's natural. So I encourage new students to do both. Learn the C major chord on the guitar. Learn how to play, the E minor chord first, or the E major open chord. And then also learn tonic. That's the key we're in. Whole step, half step, whole step, half step. At the same time. Take it all in. That's my advice, but to composers, knowing and producers too. Like I meet producers, that sometimes may ask me advice or want to know more about playing piano or music, and it's like the theory is, as a composer, it's how you make your decisions.
Yeah.
Besides your ear, obviously.
Of course.
Your ear is like the ear is telling us what is like ultimately the decision to make. The theory is telling us why we make those decisions.
Yeah, but what I've realized is that, at least for me now, that my ear has become so much better, and now I can intertwine it with what I know as music theory. But it's like when I hear something, I know exactly what it is. I can find, it's flat 6 major. I know that's what I want right now because that's gonna sound great. You know what I mean?
Exactly. Right. And that's how it usually goes. Like me as a composer now, I'm trying to, we're channeling melodies from the center of the galaxy.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to talk to you about that. Earth.
So we're trying to use our antennas and connect with the source.
Mm-hmm.
We're using our third eye, our pineal gland,
Right.
to try to bring in frequencies that don't exist yet. And then we translate that into something we can understand, like the name of a note
Right.
or a particular frequency,
Mm-hmm.
Using these instruments. But again, coming back to the theory, it's like they intertwine. And, when I met Quincy Jones, he would talk about,
Wait, you met Quincy Jones?
yeah, I met him twice.
What?
Yep, I got to play him or I got to show him on my phone the song I wrote that he inspired, which was my first piece for choir and orchestra.
Wow.
It's called the World Peace Project. I got to show him it, and he called me the future. So I'll always have that quote.
Wow.
He said I'm the future.
That's
so
epic.
I don't want him to be wrong. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I mean,
I want to prove him right.
Quincy's
Yeah,
very
I've had a
rarely
handful
wrong.
of those, like, I can't believe I met this person, but I got to meet him twice, and both times he gave me his business card.
Wow.
So I got that around here somewhere, but it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Bro, you're cracking me out, dude.
But the only reason I bring up Quincy Jones is just because he really talks about understanding what is possible with these 12 notes.
Right.
And if you can really understand what's happening in this one octave, or not even one octave, but just with the 12
with
notes,
those notes, yeah.
Everything is possible in one octave in terms of, harmonies. But
yeah, I know what you mean.
if we really understand there, really, really, really get it, know all the options, all the possibilities, even playing all 12.
Right.
Or just playing 6. Or playing the other 6. Or the many different combinations we have of whole steps and half steps.
Mm-hmm.
That is that unlocks everything, because then you know what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
At least in that context. Now, when it comes to songs and song structure and progressions and all that, that's a different thing. But we're talking about just understanding harmonies and how things move, and also voice leading. I think the most important thing I learned in music school was probably voice leading and how to go from one chord to the next chord with in an effective manner. And as a jazz musician, we rely on voice leading, but
right.
compositionally too. It all comes together. I want to. If I get into one song,
let's do it. I was gonna honestly, you read my mind. I was gonna say, tell me what song, and I'll pull it up on the stream, and we could really dive.
A nice little waltz.
Okay, I'll pull it up right now, because that way we can dive. We can dive at least into one.
Yeah, this is a song that harmonically. This is for me one of my greatest lead sheets, because when it comes to writing
a nice little waltz, is that the one?
Band, yeah, when it comes to writing for a full band, that's a whole different thing. But the information you can put on a lead sheet is kind of there's a special feat to being able to put a good song in a lead sheet format.
Mm-hmm.
Where it can be a good song just strictly off the melody and the chords.
Okay, here we go. I got it right here. Let me just share it real quick. This is gonna be good. This will be perfect. Let me find it.
If there's any people in here, composers and musicians, music producers, this will, depending on how much you understand music theory, this can potentially be very eye-opening for you, or it can just be very confusing. Maybe both, which is good. Good to be a little confused sometimes.
That's true. It is.
At first. That's actually great, because then you come back to it and it makes a little bit more sense. Come back to it, makes a little more sense. And then in about a month, maybe it's simple.
Okay, I got it right here. So I'm looking at it. First chord, B flat, 7, sharp 9.
Yeah, so this is a song that I mentioned this because we were talking about how the theory intertwines with composition.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
And anyone who really knows about my music is I'm very into I love Wayne Shorter. I love Thelonious Monk. So for me, like I need to use unconventional harmonies.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't have to, but if I can and make it effective, I think it's great.
Okay.
Not just throwing in a random chord because you can, but if it makes sense in context,
mm-hmm.
then it's a very powerful thing. And that's, for me, jazz is the type of music that allows me to put in any harmony I want.
Right.
And that's why I always gravitated towards jazz, because I felt like it was complete freedom as a composer.
Agree. Yeah, you're totally right. You can really do whatever you want if you
as
can.
a composer.
Yeah.
There's no limitations or artificial constructs that we place upon ourselves. So with that being said, I'm actually trying to pull it up now myself so I can see, because I'm not looking on your screen here.
Oh, here, you know what? Let me share. Oh, well, if you got it.
No, I got it.
Okay.
It's cool. I got it.
Okay.
I got it. So let's talk about, let's first talk about, I'm going to actually break this down for Louis. I'm going to pretend like we're in rehearsal and I'm explaining to you how this goes. And I've done this before, because everyone's like, how do you solo on this?
Mm-hmm.
It's like, what am I supposed to play?
Right.
But what I tell them and what helps is that the melody is actually just in one key. This song is actually very simple, but I reharmonize it to make
around
it look and sounds more complicated.
Okay.
But that's part of the beauty.
Yeah.
So let's first play the melody. So that's the first 16 measures, which is pretty much the majority of the song there.
Okay.
So now let's listen with the chords. So you can hear the chords and immediately, to me, that's my music.
Yeah.
Obviously, I didn't play perfectly, but that melody plus those chords is, to me, a representation of my music.
Okay, I see what you're saying.
This is my intellectual property.
Okay.
With that being said, let's look at what I was thinking here. So I'm going to reharmonize the melody a different way.
Okay.
And I want you to see if it doesn't sound, if it makes more sense to you.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't really looking at it there. So that's just pretty much it.
What's the one? Is the one D flat? Right there, what you were just playing in. What is that?
That's the question.
What is that note?
The G flat.
G flat. Okay. I definitely hear that as the one, though. You can tell that it's more like that's definitely a standard kind of vibe. Like if you're playing, and then when you reharm it. Hey, can you turn your piano up? I mean, I can hear it. It's just a little. Yeah. It's a little bit quiet.
All right.
Yeah, you know what? I never heard you play it unreharmed.
Hold on. I know. I only do that in rehearsal.
It's cool though.
I know, right? I mean, maybe it's something I can integrate, but I do that so musicians can hear what's happening.
Yeah, right? You know what? You know what might be cool is maybe on the stream, maybe you could do a little piano intro.
That could be cool.
And then when we come in, we do this.
Right.
But I don't. It just was kind of nice.
Yeah, and then that's the arrangement. You
right.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's the arrangement. But yeah, that could be cool. I'm trying to see how I can turn this up here. I'm using this program here that is not giving me too much flexibility.
Oh, here, man, do your thing. I gotta pee. I
feel like it's coming through pretty loud, though.
Oh, that's good. No, that's good. That's good. That's way better.
All right, so long story short, the melody's in G flat. The whole song, I mean, not the whole song, but
I get you.
If you think of it in G flat, it's like a lot easier.
It's a lot easier, yeah, for sure.
1, 6, 2, 5, 3, 6.
Yeah, right? It's like classic.
Exactly. But then the reharm, we're starting on the 5 of the 6.
Right.
So we're still going to the 6, but just doing the 5 of the 6, which for people who don't know, that's the dominant, the B flat.
It's what you would call a secondary dominant.
That just changes the whole atmosphere. And then because of the melody, that's now a sharp 9. Jimi Hendrix chord.
Yeah. It's Purple Haze. See?
Anyways. Doesn't sound the same on the piano.
You have to do the exact voicing, the guitar voicing, you're right. Anyways, what were you saying?
Yeah, so really I'm just trying to show how this ties into understanding theory and how my compositions, maybe not all of them, but most of them are like very, very much based in theory and understanding like how chords want to work, but then manipulating that. So anyways, you go from the 5 or 6 to the 6. Then here we're just doing the sub 5 instead of 2.
You do a tritone sub.
What that is, that makes it a sharp 4 that goes down to a sus chord. Sus only because it just sounds more unresolved. Even though in the melody we have the major third. It's kind of interesting. Then I got to figure out exactly what I was doing there. So again, instead of 3, 6, it's the sub of 3, it's tritone, E,
right,
to the A7. So it's the 2-5, it's a tritone away.
Right.
Now this is instead of being 2-5 back to the G, is now the 2, and then the sub 5 at B flat. So that's leading now back to the B flat, which leads back to the E flat. Sub 5. Or you can think of it as flat 6 to the 5. Now we go to the 4. The 4 of what? G flat. Because this is in G flat, remember?
Right.
4 minor. The bass was changing so much. Every single measure was changing. This is the first measure
where it's the same.
Yeah. The tonality stays. Okay, now I'm trying to think of what I was doing here. Another sub 5, sub 2-5, and then we go back to D. Now this part is the theory goes out the window at this point. Okay, at the B section.
17, yeah.
It's just now parallel chords.
It sounds nice.
7 chords. Okay.
Yeah. No, I get it.
And then the second time, it goes to the 5 of the A flat minors. Now we're going to the minor. There after sharp 9. That chord, I don't know why this chord always reminds me of like Wayne Shorter. D flat, sharp 11.
The dominant? Yeah, you play.
Then there I'm just doing, so pretty much it's 2, it's the minor, A flat minor, the 2, 5, 2, sub 5, the tritone of the 5. Here, it's a monk lick.
Yeah, of course, the classic whole Tony.
Now it goes down. Now this is why this song is brilliant to me. This is why it's genius. Okay, now let's look at the C section, which starts.
So wait, where are you at?
Measure 33.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right. Now this is why this song is genius. Look at what just happened there. Okay, so the melody now.
B.
So basically, it's the same melody as the beginning.
Yep.
Sorry. Upper fourth. Same thing upper fourth, harmonized a little differently. Now the harmony is actually a little more straightforward. Starts on the 2, 1, but with the augmented fifth, so it's like what strange, right? Harmonize the same way as before, just upper fourth. And now we're into the same, now we're going 2-5, back to where we started. Now the last chords are kind of some Herbie chords. B minor, which is the 4 minor. E minor, which is the flat 7 minor. Then we go to the 1 finally, but with the 7 in the bass.
Yeah.
And then F7, which leads back to
the B flat. Yeah, I love it. It's a nice little waltz.
This is one of the songs where I'm like, how did I come up with this?
Hey, I love it, dude.
I don't remember writing this, but it's like, again, it's like the ideas just come from the ether. And we just have to channel them and
you got to pick
write
it out,
them down or record them, put them in a way we don't forget.
Right.
And then I can look back on it, and I can look back on this in 20 years and teach a whole new crop of jazz musicians how to actually use functional harmony and also non-functional harmony.
Yeah.
And how to, but it's just like, for me, it's just like, it has to just sound good and just be musical.
Yeah, I agree.
But understanding the theory is what makes it, that's what makes me get away with stuff that's not supposed to work. It's because I know why I'm using things and where it's going.
But I also feel like knowing the theory and all these nerdy things that some people are kind of not into in the sense because they think that it takes away. I feel like those sounds are there already. They're going to happen if you play them. And they are what they are. And,
right.
And by
you can understand it or not understand it.
Exactly.
It's going to sound the same.
Exactly.
Why not give yourself an extra leg up on why this sounds different than that?
And honestly, all these theoretical terms and secondary dominance, whatever you want to call it, they all are describing a certain sound.
Right.
You know what I mean? So to achieve that certain sound, that vibe, that is what's happening, whether you want to accept it or not.
Right. Whether you want to know what to call it or not.
Yeah.
You can not know what goes into a grilled cheese sandwich, but at the end of the day, you're going to eat it.
Yeah, exactly.
So why not learn the recipe?
Right.
100%, man.
Precisely.
And Jimi Hendrix didn't know any music theory. So he is the one excuse.
I mean, he didn't know, quote unquote, he didn't know
conventional. Well, he didn't know what things were called.
He didn't know what they were called.
It comes down to.
Exactly.
He didn't know what they were called, but he knew how it all sounded.
He knew how to get to it. Yeah.
And but also we have to remember we're living in a 100% different time in the world than
Mm-hmm.
Jimi Hendrix.
Right.
I could pull up any Jimi Hendrix song right now and look at the tabs, hear it, slow it down. We have tools that they didn't have.
Right.
If Jimi Hendrix grew up with like an actual guitar teacher, he may not have been like Jimi Hendrix, you know. But the point is, like, why not use the tools that we have at our disposal to like try to fully understand what's happening?
Yeah, I mean, and the thing is that like when you study his music, and this is just an example of him, you know, this goes for a lot of different people, but you know, you study his music and you start to realize that motherfucker knew what he was doing. You don't get to just get to make that great music and do it willy nilly. Like he's not. It's not like he's guessing. Like
no, he had the formula. That's what I was saying earlier when we said it's, you know, to look at who he was emulating and studying to get to that point, because the formula was there. He just took it and put that shit on 1,000.
Yeah.
He took that formula. He took the blues formula and the rock formula and went to the fucking center of the galaxy.
Yeah, for sure.
On stage every time.
Yeah.
Like, you know, so it's like in a way, you know, everyone who like is an innovator, they know what the fuck came before them.
Of course. How could you not?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's what it was. Like, he really was, like, he was well studied. He knew what he wanted to achieve.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he knew his mission.
Yeah.
And no one or nothing would interfere with that. I mean, obviously he was killed, but like, while he was here, he knew what he was here to do.
Right.
You know, he wasn't trying to play Howlin' Wolf covers or like the Beatles songs or just be the best backing guitarist for like another band. And nothing is wrong with any of those things, but like, he knew what his mission was, you know, and there's a reason why we're still talking about him, why he's still relevant.
Right.
You know, that for me is more similar to the mission I'm on. He's someone who I'm deeply inspired by. Miles Davis is probably my biggest inspiration.
I mean, can we talk about how they were supposed to work together?
Yeah, well, they did play together.
But they were supposed to do an album.
McLaughlin jamming with Jimi Hendrix.
Wait, what?
You didn't know about this?
Wait, say it again.
I told you about this?
Say it again.
Jimi Hendrix and John McLaughlin had a jam session, and it's on YouTube.
It's on YouTube? Are you fucking serious?
I'm fucking serious.
Oh my god!
It was already in, like, they were already in the works. They just didn't actually plan a recording
session,
like,
yeah.
But they were like pretty much right. They were about to do that. But
do you know there's like a Telegram?
When I was a nerd, like, to me, these are like the two like gods of guitar.
Right.
John McLaughlin. I mean, John McLaughlin, he has his own. He's in his own world because he has his own way of playing and things he's trying to do. That's just like, he never went for that commercial success outside of Mahavishnu.
Yeah.
He was just like, I want to make the greatest music that I can with this guitar. You know, like, for guitarists, like, you know, like, not even like for the masses, just like for me and for guitarists and, like, you know, real musicians. And he took it pretty far, you know. It was a different time. You know, it was a time where creative musicians could get more of a commercial push. Like, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen anymore, but it was just different. Like, people would come to like fill a arena for just like instrumental jazz music if it had the right marketing, you know, the right promotion. It was just different, man.
Yeah.
Everything has changed. I try not to say it's better or worse, but it's just different. But I am very happy to live in the time I live in because I'm able to look back and learn from all the greats.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, we gotta. Yeah, I mean, Jimi Hendrix, John McLaughlin.
So you need to
know who John McLaughlin was. It was Miles Davis's guitarist.
You got to send me that video.
Period.
I'm about to look that shit up later.
Yeah. No, you're gonna nerd out over that. You're gonna nerd. I don't think it was a great recording or anything, but it's there, man.
Wow.
We talked a lot about Jimmy today, man.
Hey, bro, this is the Electric Louis Land podcast. How could we
You're
not talk
right. You're
about
right.
Jimmy?
We can't skip it. So let me ask you a question, man. Like, I'm trying to think of the right way of saying this, but basically, what I'm gonna ask a two-part question. I'm gonna let you just go. What
Okay.
one is what impact you think Jimi Hendrix had on yourself personally? I mean, obviously, Electric Louis Land, like he's your number one guy. He's changed your life. He's influenced your life. I just want to hear how do you feel like he's kind of influenced your life, shaped your life? And the other question is, what do you feel like is your mission, like as a musician, considering that you're in this very special place and time where the world is your oyster. You can do whatever you want. You have a whole new stream. The world is your oyster.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna let you go.
I mean, well, the whole thing with Hendrix for me, I'll start there, is that most people may not know, but that's why I play guitar. You know what I'm saying? Like the whole reason I play music is because I remember learning guitar or finding guitar from a neighbor, and then one of my good friends showing me Hendrix and some other stuff, and I didn't really get it at first, but and then I got it. And I'm listening to it, and then I got it. It just hits you. And I became obsessed with it. So I just remember listening to it, and being a guitar player, you kind of fall in love with that shit. And then being an electric guitar player, especially, I mean, it's the next level of the instrument.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So just the whole magic behind it is what really got me. His whole thing is, it's magical. You know what I mean?
Is. Even like hearing you play Angel earlier and hearing how you played his song was like you were getting some of that magic.
Yeah, and
100%.
that's the thing, and so me going to study jazz and stuff, it's literally just because I wanted to know how the fuck to do all that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, you literally are speaking my language because I tuned the piano 2 days ago, and at the end of it, I always play the piano to make sure it sounds to me how I would want my piano to sound.
Okay, of course.
And, I go through and make sure nothing is out of tune.
Right.
Like if one thing stands out, I stop playing.
Yeah.
And when I was done, they love my playing. You play so beautifully, all this and that. And for me, I'm a student. I'm like, you guys think I'm great. I think I sound, like I'm always like, I need to practice. I need to practice a lot, actually.
Yeah.
I just was hanging out with this pianist, Paul Cornish. You may have heard of him. He just did the Monk Institute.
Okay.
Super talented kid. And he made me realize I need to practice more too, It always happens to me. But I mentioned this to say, when I was talking to them about, it's like, how did you get into jazz? How long have you been playing? And I told them I never wanted to be a jazz musician. I literally just realized that if I want to be able to play whatever I want, the fastest way is to learn how to play jazz.
Yeah, it's so true.
Then I can literally play whatever I want to play. I can improvise, I can hear it, I can create it, I can understand it.
Yeah, you could do anything.
And then I could go back and just play Pink Floyd and Beatles songs.
Exactly.
And just smoke weed and just live my life like it's golden.
Right.
Then I started writing music and becoming an artist, and that was a whole nother adventure, which I'm still on, of trying to actually turn this into a sustainable income, which is a whole nother topic, which I think we should probably touch on for like musicians who may watch it later and be like, all right, I learned how to play music, now what?
Right.
Like what do I do? How do I connect with people? How do I like take it to the next thing to where I can actually like get on stage or maybe like sell some tickets or sell a record or sell some merch or who knows? Like who knows? The possibilities are endless. Like I have friends who have songs in video games and movies and TV shows. It's like you never know where it's gonna end up.
Right. I mean, that's what started me. So it's like I finally reached a point, where I kind of, knew some jazz stuff. I had graduated as an undergrad, but I clearly knew I didn't know anything, and I needed a lot of practice.
That's one of the most important things you can know, man. And when
So,
you
and
realize
then,
that, it's like,
yeah, I mean, but you know what really changed my life, honestly, after that is like when I got my church gig and I really started playing that stuff. That's when I like came full circle because I felt like I was just playing like
251s and the same stuff you already knew, pretty much.
yeah, but and then it's just like when I went to my church gig and I really started being forced to hear things like that and really understand it. I realized that it's just jazz chords. They're just playing
Right.
jazz harmony just really well.
It's
And
just different progressions than you'll
yeah,
find in a
but the other side though was that it was like the Hendrix side. It was like the other side of why I loved music was like it also had that. And that's what I realized. I was like, dude, this is just when I'm sitting there playing guitar in church and we're playing whatever it is and we're shouting or whatever it is, I just channel my Hendrix, my inner Hendrix, bro. I just laugh because I sit there and just play Hendrix lines and they love it. And
right.
it's
And it's
hilarious.
perfect. That's pretty much the style, man.
I know, but that's why I love it so much is because it's like a combination of like now it's like really intense harmony and chords and arrangements and feels and songs and just it has the whole gamut to it. And it's just like on top of it though, you can just play some blues. And I love that shit. That's why I
That's
play guitar.
universal. Yeah, it's universal. And that I'm honestly like I had a church gig when this whole COVID stuff happened, it stopped. But yeah, man, that was some of the outside of like going to music school, that was probably one of my most important like musical ear training like
Right.
educations because yeah, you have to hear you're really testing your ear in a church situation.
Yeah, I mean you're forced. Like we were talking about where you really
Yeah.
have to jump in the fire. Or you
Yeah,
got to go through the
exactly.
fire. Like I went through it, and if not even more so, because in your head, you know, you're like, well, I thought I knew what I was doing because I just graduated. And it's like, but you don't. You really have to fucking learn that shit for real. And really, it's like
That's a
you have
fact.
to go back and learn how the tradition speaks of it, and that's how they did it. You got to go do it at the for real. Like you know what I'm saying?
Gotta do your research, man. Yeah, you gotta kind of a lot of listening, pretty
Oh,
much. It's
it's
just
all
like
it
listening,
is.
figuring
Yeah,
stuff out for months and months and years.
yeah. And
And then
so like,
eventually you're at the point where you are familiar enough with it to contribute.
yeah, and
I
where you
guess.
bleed that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I still need to do my homework, man, because I still felt even when I ended my church gig, I would feel out of place when I listened to real, especially on organ.
Yeah.
I was covering on keyboard, but when the organ players would show up, and also
Yeah, I mean that's a
this
whole
was
nother.
a church in Compton closely associated with. It was the Burrell family. So if you know Michael Burrell, he
Yeah,
literally is like the number one organist in the world.
yeah, I know that.
Like Corey Henry would be like, that's the best organist in the world.
Right.
And it was his family.
Ah.
And so they knew how it went. They knew when it was right, when it was wrong.
So, and this is the thing though, is that, and especially for my church gig, it brought me back to the Hendrix stuff because it's like, bro, you start to get goosebumps, dude. Like you be getting down, and it doesn't even matter if whatever you believe in, you believe in that shit or you don't. Either way, you're sitting there, and you're playing, and you're going in. It's like, dude, that there's something to it. Like that,
100%.
There's more to it than we realize.
Brings it back to what I believe is that thing is to it is again what we talked about way earlier in this podcast, which is understanding that music is a reflection of or true nature, which is infinite beings, infinite spiritual beings, and we're reflecting that truth and understanding with harmonies, with
and universal
vibration,
shit.
frequency.
Yeah.
We're pretty much reminding each other, hey, we are one. We
Right.
are the same. We are connected deeply
Mm-hmm.
beyond this physical realm. We are literally the same. And music is us being able to experience that, which is why music is in every culture.
Yeah.
Music is not even a human phenomenon. Music is in life. It is in nature.
Yeah.
It is in the universe. It is the tuning of the planets rotating around the solar system.
Right. Oh,
it is the way that, you know, stars are held in a certain frequency with the center of the universe and with their particular galaxy. It's all this is held up, the whole physical world by the same frequencies that we're manipulating on our guitar or
Exactly,
piano.
dude. And
It's
it's
like
like
different levels.
exactly. And you're asking me like what would I want to do, you know? And like what I'm trying to do is like I want to make my music on that level too, where it's like, you know, so I have shit that I'm sitting on that I need to
Gives
finish
you a
and
spiritual experience. Yeah,
yeah, and
man.
I have shit that I need to finish and I'm working on and I'm gonna release it, but like that's what I want to do. Like I want to, you know, like I have tunes that
That's
have,
beautiful.
you know, that have
And I think you can definitely do it, man. It's really, for me, in my experience, it's find what gives you that feeling
yeah, it's
and
the
amplify it.
yeah,
That's it.
yeah.
Or
I dig that.
amplify it, make it better, and wash, rinse, and repeat. Don't worry about anything else out there in the world.
I feel you.
Just find what gives you that, record it, and keep working on it.
Yeah.
And my experience, that's the stuff that I'm the happiest with. As I look back, I've released like probably 8 albums or so in the last decade, and I mean it's probably more than that. If I
You got a
really
lot of
go
you
through
got a
the
lot of
count.
shit, dude. You guys are listening. You got to go find
You go to my
Alex's stuff.
Spotify, Alexander Anderson, you'll see most of the stuff I put out
Perfect.
there. But also that, and it's also my band, which is called Unidentified Fusion Arrangement or
Yeah,
Arrangement. So
dude.
those two bands are my like complete body of work, and it's definitely like hitting. I think it's probably near the 12-hour mark of music, and I feel like I'm still like just getting started. I have another album I'm working on right now called Jazzman. At the beginning of this album, this year, I put out my album Oceanside, and I just feel like the whole point of bringing this up is like looking back, the stuff that I'm just like, this makes me feel good.
Yeah.
That's the stuff. Those are the songs I come back to, and I'm like, man, this is still a good song.
Yeah, don't you love when that
And
happens?
I have other songs where I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like in the club. This is gonna be like on the radio. Like let's do something that like will hit in the street.
Uh-huh.
And I listen back like, oh, this isn't that good.
Right.
This is cool, but I can see the phase I was in at this moment.
Okay.
Then there's other songs where it's like, I wrote this song actually when my brother, who's right behind me, he was in the hospital. Always thinking about the loved ones. We ain't never dreaming about the loved ones. We ain't never chilling with the loved ones until it's too late. Until it's too late. Mass murder, I'm still further desensitized. Republicans and terrorism incentivized. The word to kill in the city. The run to high, running for a lost loved one instead of my mind. Mess up some lyrics there, but
dude, when we did that KSI thing, we played all those tunes off your Oceanside. Like, I really liked some of those, dude.
Hey man, I do too.
Like, I dig some of that shit. Like your other, like the quote unquote non-jazz stuff or whatever you want to call it, or I don't know how you, whatever. Who gives a shit? But like that stuff, I dig that shit. I remember like listening. I was like, man, this shit's kind of sick.
Thank you, man. I don't know how to take compliments on my music.
I mean, I wasn't surprised, but I was just like,
I love my music.
Yeah.
But also, as I evolve, I look back. I'm like, it's not as good as my new music.
Mm-hmm.
I always feel that way.
Well, that's good though. I think that if you feel like that, that means that you're walking the right path. You know.
Yeah, I hope so. And then there's a couple of songs where I look back. I'm like, man, how did I come up with that? Like that was really good.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I want to write more stuff like that.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think that's kind of like, I don't know. Like I think of the artists I really like Frank Zappa or Prince. Or like Miles Davis.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they have a lot of stuff they don't like that they recorded and put out.
Yeah.
Like probably like a good percentage. Like,
oh, of course.
Someone like Miles Davis, who probably doesn't like 80 to 90% of what he's done. He probably doesn't like any of his albums except Sketches of Spain.
Right. Yeah,
That's probably the only one he'll actually be like, I was playing really good this day.
right.
Everything else, he's like, what the hell was that? You
Yeah,
know
but
what I
that
mean?
just goes to show that if you think too much of it, you're never going to put anything out, and that goes for myself, even more than most people. I feel like when I say
That's the one thing I will say about me personally is I always just putting out music, even when it was terrible.
yeah, you're right though. That's a good,
Even when
but
I didn't know what the hell I was doing, how to market, how to do anything, like nothing
yeah,
except record music and get it somehow on a platform. That was all I could do. That's what I did. Even before then, when I was in high school, I was just making like I would record songs on like a little task cam,
yeah,
playing drums, guitars, doing lyrics. Like when I was in high school, I was doing songs where I was playing keys, doing the drums, doing the bass, guitar, and doing the lyrics and recording all in Audacity. No, not even really mix. I don't even know what mixing was.
sick.
I never even heard of mixing. I just made it so I could hear it, and then I would burn CDs and give them to my friends to play as they're driving to school and shit.
Right.
Like that was literally how I started. So now it's like for me, when I do like a hip hop song, quote unquote, or what song where I'm like doing lyrics and singing or
Yeah.
rapping, I feel like it's actually closer to where I started.
Yeah.
And when I'm just doing a song where I'm like trying to play like Thelonious Monk or
Yeah.
the 11s or something, because it's
I know.
like I actually didn't even know about jazz until after I got out of high school. And I was like, okay, I want to learn how to play music
Right.
like for real.
Yeah.
So okay, I'm gonna go, and I studied classical music and jazz music, but jazz was like, oh, I can improvise and come up with my own voicings and stuff. So
you gravitated
for that. But also, shout out to Derek Cannon in San Diego. I was playing Afro-Cuban music, like I was, playing Moon Tout, like I was playing like Latin music, like Gilbert, like Gilbert band, Irving Flores. Like I had a lesson with Irving, I had a lesson with Danny Green. Like I'm glad I had those early lessons because I started to really wrap my head around like how the piano works and everything.
Yeah, for sure.
And by the time I went to college, I was already when I very first went to Berkeley, I was already auditioning people for my band. Like the very first week, I had all my charts. I'm like, I'm doing this album. I'm just auditioning. I need a bass player. And I got the band and we recorded an album called Abducted. It came out 2014. Recorded that in my basement. It was freezing cold. It's 6 or 7 songs. That was my first album that I've actually like produced and put out. And I had no idea what I was doing. What was that 2000? No, that was 2000. Yeah, I think it was 2014. So, I mean, it doesn't even seem like that. Like 6 years isn't even that long of a time. I still feel like I'm like beginning, but in that time, now I put out 7, 8 albums and like a bunch of other EPs that are not technically albums in my mind, but like it's not even about how much music, but it's just like keep trying, keep going, keep putting it out, keep like something will hit. And then I never like I'm surprised sometimes people will like tag me on music I did like years ago and like this song, like, man, this song is timeless. And I'm like, I don't even listen to that. Like I'm so like that seems like a whole different person. But I did come up with that. I did write that song. Yeah, And I'm still like I'm 26. I feel like I'm still at the beginning of this journey.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking like in 10 years when I'm 36, how can I make songs that I want to perform and that I want to actually like keep coming back to when I'm like 46. Now look at Wayne Shorter and Herbie Hancock, and I mean those are the two most like obviously idolized jazz musicians, but all the other ones, Roy Haynes and all the other older cats, McCoy Tyner before he passed, and I think like how can I keep creating music that's touching my spirit and keep that going until I'm older. Like 50 years from now. How can I keep this going 50 years from now? What do I need to do today? What practices and habits do I need to build up so that in 50 years I can still sit down at the piano and play some music and possibly record something if we're still even in these, and if I'm still in this, spacesuit at that time.
Right.
Those are the people I look at as like, man, that's where I want to get. Like Quincy Jones, in terms of like his longevity.
I mean, yeah,
There's so many to name. There's too many to name. But one thing I realized when I went to New York at the end of me being in Berkeley, like my last year, I was going to New York every once in a while, and I would go to the jazz clubs and I'd sit in, I'd play at the jazz clubs and listen to people and see all the older cats. I met Peter Bernstein out there, and like a lot of really great cats. Kenny Garrett. I can go on naming forever, but like a lot of people who are like in the jazz scene, like the accomplished ones, the ones who like,
Yeah.
And I realized that I didn't want to be like that. Like nothing against anyone, but I realized I didn't want to be in just jazz.
Yeah.
I knew that. I mean, I knew that at the beginning, but it kind of reaffirmed it for me going to the jazz club and seeing really older musicians playing for like, I don't know how much they're making, but it's like the same gigs that like people were playing, like the college kids or like, like the ones who were just trying to like get onto the scene.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it's like, I already knew I wanted, by the time I'm older, I want to already have like my catalog of like music that's generating its own revenue. Like Herbie Hancock, but even Herbie's, playing, or Wayne, but I guess like a Prince, or I think with the music scene, I don't know how much people really get to that point where they can like ever just do music, because like the economy and the industry, I really don't know.
Yeah,
I think probably will always be teaching and doing other things. I'm not sure. I really don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like those guys, they do many things though. They're not just doing one thing.
A lot of them teach, right?
I mean, you kind of have to teach. That's part of the tradition too.
Yeah, I don't know. Some people do, some people don't. I mean, I think a lot of people teach by just being a band leader.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, but either way, there's
not in an institution.
Right. Yeah, but either way, that's what I mean, I guess.
Nowadays, like in terms of our generation that's above us, they all teach because you have to. And just why not? Like if you have a degree, why wouldn't you try to get a teaching job? It's like just an extra way to make money in terms of the like, people who are just a generation or two above us. But I don't know, man. I just feel like we'll see how things go. I really don't know what the future is going to hold or what it's going to look like. But I do believe that things will reopen. I do believe that music venues will start having live music again next year. I
mean, they're not going to keep us down forever, bro.
But the thing is, they won't, but they are trying.
Yeah, they are.
They really are trying, and you realize that it is 100% an agenda. Anyone can look up Agenda 2030 or Agenda 21, and you can see that there actually are people who do plan to have us locked down, to depopulate the earth, they call it, or to pretty much only have a certain number of working people, slaves to just the rich oligarchs. But I believe that they're failing. Their plan is failing. They didn't account for us spreading information and seeing right through them, and a lot of other things happening. They definitely did not plan for Donald Trump beating Hillary Clinton. That was not part of their plan, and that definitely messed things up. Yeah. Whether or not you're a Trump supporter, it's the truth.
Yeah,
okay?
It don't matter either way.
So with that being said,
well, dude, I'm looking forward to the Monday stream.
What's up?
I said I'm looking forward to the Monday stream.
Yeah, so this Monday, I hope you guys tune in. Hopefully we can get some cool clips from it too and share them afterwards. But I'm excited to see what the piano sounds like. And
the piano has just been tuned.
Great. I will bring my tuning stuff just in case, as I
Oh
always
shit!
do. Anyways, I'm sure it will sound great.
But
It's gonna
yeah,
be my
man.
girlfriend Nzinga Kalila, the global jazz master. When I say that, not because I think she's a global jazz master, which she is, but because she got her master's degree from the Global Jazz Institute with Berkeley, and she was hanging with the cats, Joe Lovano and Neela Perez and Terry Lynn and
Wow.
those guys, which we all spent time with. But anyways, she's gonna be playing saxophone with us.
Cool.
Louis, Louis Land is gonna be playing guitar. And who is the rhythm section?
Oh,
That's
so
also gonna be
we got Kevin Nguchi on drums and Harley Maxino on bass.
all right. I don't believe I may have met Harley. I don't know if I've ever met Kevin.
I don't know either. You're gonna like both. It's gonna be great.
Well, the fact that you are recommending them, I will take your word for it. I just want to, if they can listen to the Blossom album, that would be great.
Oh yeah, for sure. I was gonna say, you know what we'll do after this is maybe I'll call.
The playlist on YouTube.
Yeah, and honestly,
I'll send it to you.
you send me a set list, and then I'll call them and have them, really look at everything, and we'll get there early and rehearse, and it'll be cool.
I gotta decide this set list. The thing is, in the next 24 hours, I need to get these tunes printed out, and then once I can see them physically and I can put the sets together.
Yeah, that would be perfect, man.
Then I'll send you the names in the order.
Okay.
I'm not too stressed about it,
No, it's gonna be super fun and laid back, and it'll be chill, dude. So.
But I'm really excited too, man. This podcast actually got me really excited because you're a wonderful guy, and I love having conversation with you, and I already know that it's gonna go very well. On top of that, you're a great musician, and it's just I haven't played what's the last? I played a concert at the World Stage in LA probably like a month ago. But besides that, I haven't really played with people like at all. Well, besides my girlfriend, we'll just be playing through the Charlie Parker omnibook.
Right.
I don't know how we didn't mention Charlie Parker. Charlie Parker is like
no, we mentioned him in the beginning. Remember
the lyricist of any. I mean, like woodwind player ever.
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean, there's too many people to mention, but Charlie Parker to me, like Charlie Parker gave us Miles Davis indirectly.
Yeah.
People Dizzy Gillespie, yes, but Charlie Parker was the one to really take him under his wing and introduce him to New York. Like, hey, New York, this is the next trumpet player.
Right.
Boom. Next thing you know, he signed to I think it was Prestige first.
I don't know.
I forget, but I think it was, or maybe it was called Impact or something. I don't even remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
But then we got Working, we got the Walk In, all those quintet records, and we kind of overlooked those early Miles Davis records. Man, he was a brilliant arranger.
Yeah,
that was his specialty, and also, I mean, as a trumpeter, he was very direct, and he wasn't flashy. He wanted to be cool.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted to slow it down.
Well, especially when you're coming under the shadow of Dizzy, someone like Dizzy, his whole vibe was different.
Well, no one can hang with Dizzy.
Yeah.
That's just what it came down to.
Right.
You can't follow that. But he was trying to at least be competent.
Mm-hmm.
And he studied a lot in those early years. And, I think that there's honestly too much of a obsession with musicians and the whole celebrity, the whole now it's times 1,000 with Instagram, but I think there's too much of the whole idol worshiping. And from myself, I worship Miles Davis. That's why I went to East Coast, and my mind was all right, go to Berkeley, drop out, move to New York, get a gig, starve for 10 years, finally get a sign, that was my mindset.
Yeah.
It's be starting and broke and just freezing and cold and miserable so I could eventually get a gig with Wayne Shorter and be solid in the jazz community because I played with him twice. You know what I mean? It's that was how narrow-minded my thinking was when I was young. because of people like Miles Davis, because I was like, not in a bad way, but bad way, it was like, oh, that's what he did. He went to New York and chased Charlie Parker
I
and
see what you
starved and
mean.
was broke and got addicted to drugs and shit and didn't have to do all that so he could be Miles Davis. So he had to do that to come up with Bitches Brew to influence the whole, like to create a new genre.
Yeah.
It's like we get so kind of, you know what I mean? Like our thinking, or the people who think like, oh, Jimi Hendrix took LSD, so if I take LSD, I will be a guitar wizard. You know what I mean? It's that thinking. But really, it's like people just live their life. Like John Lennon said, life is what happens when you're making other plans.
Right.
And I went to New York and realized it's too cold. Like I'm from San Diego. Like it's warm. It never gets below 60. I was like, I can't live here. Like it's like, yes, I run into this amazing jazz. I run into jazz, the whole jazz scene. Like I'm running into all the legends right here. Ron Carter's down the street. Oh, but I'm gonna go see this instead. And, like that's all there. But it's like this isn't for me. Like this is beautiful, like in its own way. But knowing what I personally want, I want to be where I'm warm and comfortable, and use that as my influence in my space to put into my art, not be like cold and miserable, but at least be super killing, but not as killing as the other 30 pianists who were just played there yesterday.
Right.
And it's like there's a romanticism to that, but there's also just the reality of like, what are we actually doing? And I think Peter Sprague told me the same type of thing. Peter Sprague was like, he moved to New York for a little bit and then realized like
he missed surfing.
His vibe.
Yeah, you can't surf in New York, bro. Peter was probably miserable.
No surf. Yeah, and on top of that, I think who else told me that? Jacob Cubby.
Oh, okay.
Bass player.
Yeah.
Jacob, yeah, he told me that same thing.
Oh yeah, I forgot he went there for a while.
I think it gets glorified too much, as someone who's been to the like 3 a.m. jam session at Smalls, I think it's a little bit too much glorification.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
And I only say that because I glorified Miles Davis so much that I was doing the same thing. Trying to like be the greatest jazz musician, like be recognized, be seen, like by whoever, and then realizing like, what am I really doing all this for? Let me just be my own recognition. And that's how I am now. I don't look for anyone's recognition. I don't even care who you are. After Quincy Jones told me I'm the future, I don't need anyone else to tell me anything. Seriously, like I don't even care about other people's opinions at this point. I do to a certain extent, but it's like, what does it mean? It's like the value of money. What does your opinion really mean? Like, how does that really affect me? How does it weigh on me? Do I let it affect me?
That's a big one.
And no, that's really what it is.
That's all it is.
And it also comes back to I have this great book. Kenny Warner has this book called Effortless Mastery. He talks about the same thing applied to music. Like we judge ourselves so much, we're so harsh on ourselves that we don't even enjoy playing sometimes.
Right.
And it's like, if you're not even enjoying yourself, what are you doing it all for? Are you doing it for other people?
Right.
Are you doing it for you? Like, and like, do you actually get joy from picking up the instrument the same way you did the first time you picked it up? How can you create that joy for yourself? How can you trick yourself into believing that, what Kenny Warner would do? And I actually love this, but oh wait, I turned my piano off. Hold up. Let me turn it back on so I can do this. This is the Kenny Warner Effortless Mastery. It's almost like self-psychosis. And I'll show you what it sounds like right now. That's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. That's the most beautiful song I've ever heard. That's the most beautiful sound I've ever heard. Pick up your guitar. Play a random, just playing whatever. Hold down some frets, don't hold down some, don't give it any thought. Just do it and let it rink out completely. Now say that was the most beautiful sound I've ever heard.
That was the most beautiful sound I ever heard.
Do that every single day.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
First thing you pick up your guitar, do that every single day. It seems a little bit like kind of stupid or redundant at first, but you will see why I'm telling you to do that. Do it. And when you actually play this, I actually thought that was the coolest shit I've ever heard in a while on guitar. I swear to you, when you first heard that, I was like, it was like, what is that?
Right.
It wasn't like, oh, it's that chord. Oh, that's a major. Oh, it was like, what is that?
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Jimi Hendrix had. Like,
for sure. That's what I'm saying.
Playing? It was not even like, oh, he's just playing this chord. We've heard that.
Right.
He's just doing it better than the last guy. Mm-hmm. It's like jaw dropping. What am I experiencing? Right. What is this? Mm-hmm. And how do you get there? Well, first you have to believe it.
Yeah.
You have to believe it.
Yeah.
And another thing Kenny Werner talks about is he is basically having the time of his life, and that's what the audience wants to see.
Yeah, it's true.
They're not there to hear his music. They're here to see him express himself freely.
Yeah.
That's really what they're there for.
That's true.
And then he gives them permission to do the same thing. Mm-hmm. By them witnessing you in that state, they say lead by example. By you being in that state of joy and in bliss, other people are able to receive that, and it gives them permission to be that way in their own lives. Like, for example, dancing. No one wants to dance until someone else is dancing. And once someone else starts dancing, now we can start dancing because I'm not the only one.
I'm not the only one, yeah.
That's why we're here. We're here to help trick the masses into believing, hey, we can actually be at peace, be happy, experience joy in this moment.
Right.
And I'm using music as the initiator of the trance to allow you to give yourself permission to be that way, and to forget about all the things that are blocking you from that mental state.
Yeah, they keep you from fear,
getting there. Getting you out of that state of fear.
Mm-hmm.
And,
I love it.
That's really why we're here. Now this is really talking about our spiritual mission. Mm-hmm. Why we're here. Why we're doing what we're doing. Why are you so diligent about continually putting out music and putting this together? This is why.
That's why.
Helping you realize your spiritual mission. It's to help elevate and to transcend the consciousness of humanity.
Right.
And you're doing your part. You're doing your part. So thank you. We really appreciate what you're doing. And I say we, meaning like the galactic body of people who are trying to bring this planet to a higher
to the next level,
which we're already on our way.
Mm-hmm.
In my mind, we're already there. And now we're like watching the physical world catch up to where we are mentally and spiritually. It's like, how do we help everyone catch up to where we are?
Yeah.
And I think one of the best ways is to exactly what we're doing now.
Yeah.
This transmission.
That's why we're doing this, bro. I love it. It's great, man. Hey, Alexander Anderson.
I just have to say, what you played was so hip. And I'm recording it all. But what you just played, I'm telling you. And you see how easy that was? Mm. Do you see how much we've tricked ourselves into thinking music has to be hard?
Right.
You see how easy that was?
Yeah.
And how that was mind blowing. Like that's the whole practice. Now, how do we hold that state all the time?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How do you be there
all the time we're playing? Every time we have the guitar.
Yeah.
How do we have that same state? And we have to give ourselves permission to do that.
Right. Yeah, I feel you.
Get outside of our own box. You know, this is powerful. I'm so glad I've recorded all this, by the way. I'm glad I did because I knew there was going to be some gems in here.
Oh yeah, bro. I'm telling you, bro. I'm gonna put this. This is the first podcast, bro. You're the first one. I'm gonna put this shit. I'm gonna detach the audio, and I'm gonna put this on podcast app. Like we've started a podcast. You're the first guest. Congratulations.
I'm so honored.
And honestly, I didn't even mean to pick you. You're the next one in the week. So the universe picked it, and it's perfect. Of course.
That's even better.
Hey, Orchestereo, what's up, dude? We got someone saying hi.
Hello, Earthlings.
But that's what I mean, dude. It's like once we started doing this, I was like, oh, of course it's Alex. This is perfect.
How you got to kick it off, man.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I didn't even try.
There's also thinking about a podcast. Like we already know, Joe Rogan is like the king of podcasts, and
right,
he is the reason why 90% of people have a podcast.
Yeah,
well, I got to meet Joe Rogan once, and I told him I'm going to be on your podcast one day. I'm sure he's heard that a million times. We'll see if it happens. But with that being said, man, you just never know where this is, how it's going to go, who's going to hear this, who this is going to affect. Like,
yeah, it's true.
Like you can't predict those. And also, it's like when I said the value of music. What is the value of just us talking?
Yeah, you're right. It goes back to what we're saying.
It's really hard to put a monetary amount on it, but it's not really the point. The point is that there is a value there. Mm-hmm. You know, there is a value to it, and there's also a high vibration when you're telling the truth.
Right.
The truth is a very high vibration, and it causes people, like I said, cognitive dissonance, or to actually consider it and actually evolve. Okay? If you've been believing a lie, if you've been living in Plato's cave, when you finally get out that cave and you see the light, you're gonna be your brain is gonna change.
Yeah.
Which is just, you know, a physical representation of you changing in the spiritual sense, meaning as much as we can change as spiritual beings, as much as we can learn, which we do learn. I think that's the whole point of why we left the source to come in the illusion of being Louis or being Alex, so we can experience the other side of existence. You know, we actually chose to agree, you know, we agreed to come into this fear paradigm, but then, you know, the rabbit hole, which we're going there, is we were tricked. We were tricked by an extraterrestrial race. Some of them call them the reptilians, the Anunnaki, but we were tricked into a reincarnation cycle to where our souls are trapped in the third density, and our energy is being harvested by extraterrestrials who love to feed off of our fear. And we are currently breaking out of that matrix. Mm-hmm. We've been in the Matrix. The Matrix, the movie, a lot of these movies, they actually tell you what's happening, but they put it in a movie so that, you know, we can give them our subconscious permission. Mm-hmm. But we've been getting fed off by you know, you can think of them as extraterrestrials, but some of them have been on this planet for a long time too. Other races, other intelligent humanoid races that exist, that come from other planets, come from other star systems, both in our galaxy and outside of our galaxy, but we're breaking free finally. And that's like the other part of the rabbit hole is we've already been in contact with extraterrestrials for a long time. We've had a lot of technology to travel through time and space, you know, space-time continuum. If you're traveling space, you're traveling time. You leave this planet system, time is affecting you differently already. So time travel is space travel. They are the same thing. Space-time continuum, they're both connected. You know, there is, to be anywhere in the universe, it has to be a time and a space. Mm-hmm. Those are two qualities, two variables that have to be there. Otherwise, you don't exist in any continuum or in any way that we can perceive you. And that's how scientists, for example, when scientists want to find out like an atom, You not only need to know what space that atom is at, but at which time it's in that space.
Hmm.
Okay. Otherwise, everything is in motion. The
Right.
Earth is in motion. The sun is in motion. Everything is spinning. So we're actually never in the same time and space ever.
You can't.
Twice.
Yeah, it's the never step in the same river twice.
Another way of saying that is the present moment is actually all that exists.
Hmm.
We're actually all, another way of thinking is we're actually only in one space, one time and space, because there actually is only one time and space, but we have this the illusion of all this separation and all this distance, but everything is actually really one thing. So this 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 experience is very deceptive, and it's very convincing that we are like humans, and we are this, like we are this one, we are an isolated being. And I think that's true to an extent, but it's actually more deceptive, because the truth is that we are all actually part of the same universe. Now, that doesn't neglect the fact that we have other intelligent beings from other star systems, and some of those are on the moon, dark side of the moon. The moon, another rabbit hole. First of all, Stanley Kubrick talks about how he worked with NASA. NASA's a whole nother rabbit hole, okay? But he worked with NASA to pretty much produce the moon landing, produce the set, produce the film known as the moon landing.
Right. What they broadcasted supposedly.
Stanley Kubrick admitted this. He talked about it, how he had to keep this secret for a long time. But before he died, he did talk about how he worked with them, and that was his greatest project. But he could never put his name on it.
Mm-hmm.
He couldn't let the public know that, hey guys, that footage you saw of the moon, I was behind that. And this is kind of not common knowledge, but it's out there. So why we bring up the moon? Because a lot of these beings are on the moon. The moon, that's a whole nother topic. But there's structures on the moon. There's been life on the moon. The moon actually is not a natural body. Meaning
oh, Alex getting deep. I'm so into it. I don't even care.
The moon didn't like break off from some asteroid and just happened to perfectly land into our orbit. The moon is actually more like a metal spaceship, and they actually sent one time they had radar out in space where they can detect the sound of objects in space. And when they struck the moon was ringing, kept ringing and ringing, not like a dense body, but like a hollow metal ship. It was ringing.
Like the Death Star?
Like the Death Star. Right. So that's a whole nother conversation.
Oh, we're going deep, babe. Hey, we're about to plunge into the black hole. The reason I'm bringing
this up is because, look, guys, the point is the world is not the way we've been thought it was for a long time. We've already had the technology. I'm less concerned with aliens and more concerned with the technology. Because the technology, and this is what people overlook. Whenever we want to talk about aliens, UFOs, this is the important thing for us to take away from all this, okay? Our government, secret space programs, the Pentagon, CIA has already acknowledged that we've experienced UFOs and that we have already recovered their technology. We've already reverse engineered their technology, okay? Now, here's the important thing that we're taking away from this. We have the technology today to shut down the energy systems as we know it. The entire electrical grid, the fossil fuel grid, natural energy, all that stuff is obsolete, and we've had the technology for decades to already roll out a new system. This is being held back by, as I say, the powers that were, or the cabal, the elites, these really wealthy people who control kind of humanity or who have control. They are losing their grip, but they've been holding back this technology. And there's literally patents. This is not speculation. You can look up patents, hundreds of patents that are already in the US Patent Office of what we call free energy technology, or technology that basically produces more energy than it takes in to power on. So it's also called an over unity device. So if I have something that can put out 20 kilowatts and it's only taking in 10, that's called over unity of 10 kilowatts. That's called a free energy device because it's putting out more energy than it's taking in. Okay, so they have all these technologies that manipulate the electromagnetic field of the Earth that we're on to run and generate devices, generate energy, so we could power cities, we could power the planet if we fully implemented these technologies, which I think we're actually working in that direction.
You think
But the
so?
point I'm trying to make is we have the technology to change the world, end world hunger. Imagine being able to travel anywhere in this world with a snap of a finger without paying any money.
Mm.
Imagine how that would change the economy.
Yeah, I
Imagine how
mean,
that would
I've
change
always I've always
your
said that
job.
I kind of agree. I've always thought that the solution to the energy problem would completely transform society as we know it.
And that's the same technology that they're using on these spacecraft to travel faster than the speed of light. To get to the next closest star system, you have to go faster than the speed of light. Now, what happens when you go faster than the speed of light, we can't exactly say because we haven't been there. But my speculation is that's how you break through the space-time continuum. The only real boundary on the space-time continuum that we're experiencing is the speed of light.
Mm.
And when you go past the speed of light, and it's not everything is about emotion thing. I think it's actually about a mental thing, telepathic. Like I think it deals with telepathy and your brain waves, generating waves. The same how we generate frequencies with instruments, doing that with our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but obviously that needs to be amplified, which is the technology of the spacecraft. Amplifies your natural electromagnetic field to bend gravity, or as we think of gravity, or pretty much to manipulate the electromagnetic field around you, causing you to go beyond the speed of light, hyperspace as they call it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And once you break that, time does not weigh on you the way it weighs on us when we're trapped within the physical realm of light, right? So this goes really deep, this is quantum, this is a little bit of quantum physics,
Dude, this is the
but this
best
is like the
fucking
true nature of
podcast
the
ever.
universe. And everything is like this, another thing is everything is made of the same thing. Particles of what? Light, photon. What is a
Hey, I got
photon?
some friends watching right
Exactly
now that
know.
just fucking love you.
We don't exactly know what a photon is. A lot of these scientific theories, which we've been taught to believe our whole lives, we're going to see them completely crumble once this technology is rolled out. And the other thing about this technology, why I said that NASA, remember I said NASA?
Mm-hmm.
NASA is in my mind one of the biggest hoaxes ever in human history. They don't do a whole lot, but they definitely have a lot that they put out that what they pretty much do is they fool the masses very effectively in a lot of different ways. They manipulate all types of photos of Earth, of the moon. They don't show you what's really going on, and they don't they try to kind of completely fool us into thinking that the latest and greatest technology are rockets. It's not rockets. Rocket propulsion has been outdated since Germany, since Nazi Germany, since they were already experimenting with anti-gravitics in Hitler's Nazi Germany during World War II. So we're talking about, when was that? The early, like 40, 30, 40, around that time, like long ass time ago, basically.
Dude, I have to pee so bad. Can I go
Oh
pee
no,
real
go
quick?
ahead, go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna keep talking
Just
to,
these guys are
and then we'll
listening.
do
Just
it.
keep ranting. I gotta pee.
No, I'm gonna give you the download, and I'll refresh Louis when he comes back. We're gonna end this soon, guys. We've been going too long, but once you go in the rabbit hole, it's hard to get out. You gotta call a helicopter, something to climb out. But I'm just gonna finish my thought here. Now, why did I bring up NASA? See, this is why I need to get more on my podcast, because I could go like this forever. I can go forever, and then we can start pulling up all the data. I can show you. Operation, was it Operation Mockingbird? There was a CIA operation to bring in Operation Paperclip, where they brought all of the Nazi Germany scientists and engineers to America. And what company did they start? NASA. Okay. If you don't already know this, please look up who founded NASA. Please look up if he was in the Nazi party. Please do the research. So NASA was founded by ex-Nazi Germany scientists. Um, After the war, after they supposedly lost the war, they brought all their best scientists to America to start NASA to continue their secret space program and also to do the public space program to fool people into thinking, hey guys, all we're doing is shooting off rockets. No, when really the secret space programs were experimenting with anti-gravity. All right, I'm going to catch you up. We're talking about NASA. Okay, we went down NASA.
Okay.
Now, why am I bringing this up?
Go.
At the end of World War II, Germany did not really they officially lost the war, but all of the top people got out, including Hitler. Hitler was not killed. Okay, I'll go into that later if you really want to. But all all the top scientists and engineers that were working on these anti-gravity electromagnetic devices, aka spacecraft. By the way, the very first spacecraft was a submarine. Okay, fun fact. All right. Guess who else? While we're talking about submarines, guess who had a submarine license? Ghislaine Maxwell, aka Jeffrey Epstein's handler. It all ties in. Okay, she was driving submarine. That's how they were trafficking children, and that was the first spacecraft. Also, was a submarine. It wasn't a rocket. Okay. Um, so, anyways, NASA at the end of the war, NASA is founded by the people they took from Nazi Germany. So, Nazi Germany scientists are brought to America. It's called Operation Paperclip. Anyone who doesn't know about that, go look it up. Operation Paperclip. They brought all the Nazi scientists to America. They formed NASA, and they also created their secret space program. So they did the public space program, which was NASA, and they did the secret space program, which is actually looking at recovered alien craft, reverse engineering, electromagnetic devices, anti-gravity devices, and even more stuff. I mean, it's secret programs, so you have to look at whistleblowers to actually find
Hey,
out
dude,
what
I
they're
feel like
doing.
we've made it. I feel like you're on the Joe Rogan podcast, dude. We've made it.
We're the next best thing, all right? And that's what I'm trying to tell you is this is the next Joe Rogan podcast. Not even the next Joe Rogan. This is your podcast. Just keep going, and you never know. I watched all the early Joe Rogans. They had no idea that it was gonna go where it was going at all. They literally were just on the couch talking shit with other comedians, and then eventually they started to have like Graham Hancock on, who I got to meet. And
you got to meet. How do you meet all these people, bro?
And it kept creeping up, and then it was it got giant before they even knew what they were sitting on.
Dude, how do you meet all these people? I don't understand.
I'm on my mission.
Are you a reptilian, bro? Or are you just like you just appear in different places when need be? That's amazing.
You know, if I am reptilian, I haven't got that download yet. I really hope I'm not. Like I believe in my heart of hearts that I'm not from like that race of like aliens, but until I like get my 100 confirmation that I'm a Pleiadian or Arcturian or one of the other species that we know about, I don't know. So I'm not gonna try to say yes or no. I really don't know. I don't think I know I'm not a reptilian because I would have known by now. Like my eyes would have shifted. I can send you some footage if you want to see later. But there's video of people shape shifting. If you're not aware,
I've heard of these. I've never really seen any like legit.
My girlfriend shows me all the time. Like there's a ton of videos.
Send me one. I want to see some.
Let me finish my thought here.
Go.
At the end of the World War II, the Nazi scientists came to America, started NASA, and they started fooling us into thinking that the latest and greatest stuff is about rockets. But it's really about electromagnetic devices. And this is also what Nikola Tesla had the technology way back at the turn of the century to where we didn't need to have wires for our electricity. Everything could have been already powered by these types of devices. And we didn't, go down that way because, again, the powerful, money-hungry, greedy people have thwarted those efforts. And they've been successful up until now, basically. So it's like the end of their reign. We're coming out of a very dark time in human history in comparison to the grand scheme. When you look at the ancient civilizations that built the pyramids and built underground cities and built like all types of stuff, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians,
I mean, there's
all over
definitely
the
some
world.
weird coincidences and certain info that's shared and certain things. There's definitely some weird shit going on. There's something up.
When you look at the ancient civilizations, they knew a lot more than a lot of us do now.
Then we
Okay?
think, yeah, whether
And
it's
we've lost touch
yeah,
with a certain connection to the universe and to the divine and to our spirituality, which we've been regaining. You know, now a lot of that was the psychedelic movement, the new age movement. You know, it's been resurging, but through the internet now it's just like the catalyst. It's times 1,000 now, and people are waking up, and this is why they have to censor us, because they don't want. They're still trying to control us. They're still trying to keep us in a very low vibrational and low awareness informational state, and that's why I'm here. That's why we're doing what we're doing, to be the balancing act and to, you know, raise the vibration, raise the consciousness, and to help people become their full selves and to ascend, you know, and to go back to our full godlike divine source potential, you know. um but I have so many thoughts sometimes that I don't finish one thought. Long story short, we have the technology and it's coming out that's going to completely revolutionize this planet, and it's going to completely change everything that we understand. Our money system is going to completely change. We're not going to think of money as the same way. You know, we all have a lot of wealth that has been actually squandered from us by these central banking systems and these families that have been controlling us, and it's going to be returned to us. It's going to make reparations look like a coupon. Okay? We are going to get so much of our wealth back that's been stolen from us and that's been held from us. And the slavery is going to end. You know, slavery is still going strong. It never ended.
That's true.
It's been going on. It's just been changed. And we've been entertained to not fully realize the state that we've been living in, you know, because we've been entertained through the media, television, and, you know, we stay distracted very well. But the time is here now. You know, we're getting a lot of help from the Galactic Federation, you know, or the coalition of other worldly beings that are saying, hey guys, Earth needs to level up now. It's been long enough. We waited long enough. You guys had all the time and all the opportunities. It's been squandered so many times, and no more. No more, you know?
Dude, Alex, this is the greatest first podcast ever.
It might be.
No,
I'm going to share this.
No, it is.
I'm definitely going to share this.
It is. Remember what you said in the podcast? You said, this is the best sound ever. This is the most beautiful sound. This is the best podcast ever.
I happen to agree with you. No, you're 100% right. You know, when you think, and like, it's really just your mentality. Like, when you remind me of that, it's like, we have to realize we have the power of perception. You are God of your own universe. If you are listening to this, you are the definitive authority in your paradigm. You literally define what is and what is not in your world. To you, we all have that power. You know, it's kind of like the multiverse. It's like, we're not all actually in the same reality, because you create your reality. We have the power to create reality based off perception. So when you do that, whether it applies to music or to this podcast or to this day, waking up saying, this is going to be the best day of my life. You know, every day you wake up, tell yourself that. Make that be your first thought. You know, try to wake up and just say, thank you. Thank yourself. Thank God. Thank whoever you want to thank. Be in that state of gratitude when you wake up. I made it. I get to live another day. I get to get up and do anything I put my mind to. I get to even try.
Yeah.
Like, I get another chance.
Right.
I get to call someone I love and just let them know I love them. Like, those are the things we have to be grateful for.
Right.
These are the important things, not like how many records did you sell? How much money did you make from this? How much people liked your last Instagram post?
Right.
That's not important. We are fooled and tricked into thinking that's what's actually important, and that's why we keep chasing those things. But we have to turn back our focus onto our own spiritual development and what we're here to do, which is help those around us by not by yelling at them or forcing them to change, but by being the example. Live your life the way that you want, to see, and let people see that and make their own decisions.
Yeah, man, I love it.
I'm at a point where I don't try to convince anyone of anything. You can't convince anyone of anything. I just share information, and then you can do your own research. And I might be wrong.
Dude.
But with that being said, we're gonna go down the rabbit hole.
Oh, we're
we talk, we're going all the way down, and we didn't even. I left. As you know, I left a lot of stuff out, but I got a lot of stuff in there, to where anyone who knows what I'm talking about can be like, that man is on to something.
Hey, well, check it out. This ain't gonna be the last one, bro.
I know I'm about to see you soon. We're about to keep going, but I'm gonna let you go. Any last thoughts? Any last questions? Monday, we're doing the live stream concert. Yeah. I'm excited to see all you guys.
Monday, we're doing.
Everyone who's listening to this, I appreciate your ears and your time. I'm sorry if I said anything to offend you, but at the same time, the truth is going to offend some people. That's just what it is.
That's true. Yeah, man. Well, let's see. Monday. So if you guys are watching and you want to check it out, we're going to start doing, because we've been doing concerts every Monday, and I want to start doing this, this podcast basically, before the concerts. Alex just happened to be the first one. It just happened so that it was perfect and absolutely necessary. So this is fucking crucial.
To set the stage, if anyone else in the future wonders, how do your podcasts go? What are we going to talk about? Now they know. Anything you want to talk about. Any and everything.
We talk about music. We talk about space.
Nothing is off topics. We can pull up your charts. We can pull up your scores. We can talk about music theory. We can talk about anything.
We did.
Alien.
We did.
And that's how you want it to be. Talk about your info. This was actually a great. I think this actually was the best first podcast. Okay, someone's asking me what time. Someone's on my Twitch saying sounds cool. What time?
Okay, so
Monday, 7 p.m. and you're gonna access it through Louis.
So wait. So here's the thing.
So tell me.
We're gonna do. So there's two sets. We're gonna do. The first set is at 7:00 Pacific time, and it's on my YouTube channel at Electric Louisland, and on my Facebook channel. But whatever, who cares? So YouTube 7:00, and then 8:30 we're gonna go live on Twitch, on at Electric Louisland, same thing. So that's how we've been doing it. 2 sets. And the Twitch set's always better, honestly. Let's face it. So, Alex, dude, thanks for doing this, man. I'm stoked to play your music again and have you meet Kevin and Harley if you haven't. I can't remember if you've played with them or not, but we're gonna have fun, man. It's gonna be great. What else? Anything else? If you want to find more of Alex's music, go on Spotify or iTunes. You'll find him.
Alexander Anderson. On social media, I'm at Alex on the piano. And I don't have anything left to say, man. I need to smoke some weed. I need to eat another slice of pizza and have some salad. It's been a while. I mean, I don't even know. How long was this?
Bro, I don't even know. We're in... Dude,
we've been hitting 3 hours.
3 hours and 23 minutes.
That is a proper...
First podcast. That's what I'm saying,
and that's
dude.
That's going to be a good amount of buffering and post-production to actually put this up. So we're going to stop it here.
So we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys on Monday.
Monday.
7.
Tell them where to find you on Monday again.
So Monday at 7 on YouTube at Electric Louisland. on Monday, second set, 8:30 at Electric Louis Land on Twitch.
All right, we're gonna end it right there, Louis. I love you, man.
All right, bro. I'll see you soon, man. And then we'll get down. This is gonna be great.
You gotta say I love you too.
I love you too, bro. Sorry. You know I do. All right, y'all. Later. All right, that was amazing. Can we just give it up for Alex? That was just fucking great. Are you kidding me, dude? Who we rating? That's a good question. Who you guys want to rate? I'm going to fix the screen right here. Give me a second. Let's see if you guys can see me. There we go. That was amazing. Who we rating? Someone give me a name. Who's on right now? I don't really know any of these guys except for... Why don't you guys pick one? I've been rating this classical guitar player guy, but let's do someone else. Who's this guy? Jesse Black. All right, what's the? Give me the screen name, Orchestereo. Give me what's the screen name? I'll type it in right now. Maybe that is the screen name. Okay, perfect. Here we go. I'm gonna do. We'll rate him. Maddie Wong. Spell check trying to fix my spelling. Get out of here, spell check. All right, y'all. Hey, thanks for being here. We'll see you guys on Monday. Later. What's up, Lizzie? All right, let's see if it worked. I think it worked. I rated. Let's see if it's working. Come on, baby. All right, y'all. We'll see you Monday. We're about to raid Matt's channel. So say what up to him. Go follow him. See what up. Later, guys.